Oh man, I'm getting a flashback to all these Stephen J. Canal movie TV shows. Riptide! Thank you, Dr.Ben.
Yeah! Holy shit.
This art is just so freaking crazy and just like so, like this is the epitome of like underground comics to me. I think I love it. I think it is so cool. I don't know, just the certain things like she's walking away and she just has this big ass with
look at that big ass, look at that big juicy booty, this Latina
with her twisted deformed arm looking over her shoulder. I love it so much. It's almost Ted McKeever-ish in a way. I don't know. It's like Beavis and Butthead on meth. How do you like that? I don't know. But it's so cool. Like, there's just something very compelling and just... I love his stuff. I'm a fan. Great storyteller. Just totally, as I've said before, the epitome of, like, underground indie comics. Right there, Dr.Ben Anthony. Such great, color choices and just, I don't know. I'm with it. Inimitable. I love it. I love the color scheme you chose here, and this looks so good. Good job, Dr.Ben.
Love it.
For you 90s stoners out there.
This just felt... Yeah, this stuff I really like too. I love underground stuff, and this side of the book tried to bring a lot of that feel into it, and I really appreciate it.
Wow. Yeah, that's Dr. Ben again, man. He had been away from comics for a long time, and now he's back. He's got these crazy colors.
Yes, I like.
Really great work. And some of it's like meta too, it's got talking about Brubaker, Sean Phillips. This is like, he is in this. He's the guy with the chops and the bald head there in the top right. So like,
That's the Broob.
Yeah, his hat. Yeah, does Broob know about this? He would love this.
I don't know.
You can get $500 for the original art if that's on Bristol board out of Brubaker.
Dr. Ben is just yelling, "You're wrong," at caps. All right, but here's my larger point.
Come on, you fuckers think that just because a guy reads comics he can't start some shit? I'll fucking take all you.
Yes. I gotta give Dr. Ben some props real quick, Thick Comics, because when he wrote to me, I think sometime last year about, because I write comic reviews and stuff like that in between everything, and like he hit me up, was like, you should do something like, do like a interview thing, or like, I don't know, join the Comics Journal or something, right? And I kind of just took those words to heart and just kept going for it. So Tony, I'll be interviewing you very soon down the road. And
yeah. Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
Small. Why does it go stuck on that one? Why is it stuck? There we go. What's up, everybody? Favorite friendly neighborhood doctor of comics, divinity, good times, fun, excitement. We're here today and do like a little tribute stream. Go over. I don't know if everyone is. I suppose if you see the title is that it's a Ed Piskor tribute stream, you're gonna kind of know that it's about Ed here. But if not, I can do a quick overview. I don't want to go to like Wikipedia's or whatever. I thought the best thing to do. I should have brought all this stuff up beforehand, but you know how it is sometimes. Ed Piskor was a cartoonist, right? And he passed away a year ago. A year ago on this very day, April Fool's. After, let me bring up, this is what I wanted to bring up. Present, hold on, folks. I don't want to just have it be me if we're having a Eddie P tribute stream. I'll show off, guys, some of his work. And he was a cartoonist, right? And this was his channel that he ran here on the old YouTube, Cartoonist Kayfabe. That's him in the sunglasses and the bucket hat. That is his co-host of the show, Jim Rugg. The what does it say? The audio-visual inside scoop from 2 lifetime comic book markers, both comic book markers. I love it. So they started this. I think they started the channel in 2019. I think is what it is. And it has. Does it list how many? Yeah, 1,900 videos, and they're all. Pull up like the list of the videos here. They're all like hours. Well, all these ones at the end are when after he passed. But before he passed, right? The videos are all about his own works, Jim Rugg's works. You know, he made Ed Piskor did the Hip Hop Family Tree, which is this. Yeah, which I've got right here. Big, huge collection of this comic that adapted the history of the hip hop genre, right, in comic book format. It's 4 volumes. It's nice. Well, they covered their own work, but then they would also cover all the work of mouse here, so I can use the scroll wheel. Oh hell yeah! They'd cover all the old comics from the 90s, 80s, 70s. The different creators, you know, and it was like all kind of like a more like shop talk kind of show, like Joe Kubert's Punisher, right? Like they're going to talk about like Punisher comics in general, but they're mainly going to focus on which ones is it in this? Is that Punisher Warzone? Can't remember. Anyway, Joe Kubert doing Punisher. They're going to have, you know, just all kinds of different stuff. 1963 series that, of course, my own. They have it talking with Don Simpson, Dandy Don Simpson, looking over Kevin Eastman's Outlaw comic. You know what I'm saying? Like all their shows, you know, sometimes they're only like, this one's only 15 minutes. Some of them are only 20 minutes. But like if they get on a tear on something, you know, if it's like a long series, you know, they'll have like longer shows. They're all like pretty in depth, right? Like I don't know how else you describe it. You know, like it's 1,000, almost 2,000 videos that are reviews of comics. They have oh, this is the other thing. Go to their playlists. That's the other thing. You can see that they also have they've arranged everything all into themes. You like Kichiro Otomo, you know, there's a whole 23 videos. If you like the X-Men, there's 40-some videos. If you like Carl Barks, you're out of luck. There's only like 6 videos about Carl Barks's Donald Duck comics. You know, like some of the stuff is more, some is less. 22 videos about Robert Crumb comics. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them have like, where's the part? There should be a part where they're interviewing interviews. I thought there was one where they did all kinds of interviews. Because there's definitely like a bunch of interviews. They called them kayfabe shoots, I think is what they would call them. And it would be like them talking with you know, different creators. The creators of the Ninja Turtles, they talked to both of them, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. They talked with shoot interviews. It's 137. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, you go to this and like the list of like the people that they interviewed is just Noah, All of them, they always had the same intro.
Welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Cartoonist Kayfabe. My name is Ed Piskor.
I'm Jim Rugg.
We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. If you get some value out of this channel, subscribe to the channel, pushes our vids out to a wider audience.
So that's what I'm saying. This is, I just want to have like the list of all of the, I see the list of all of them. Well, anyways, there's 137 different interviews, right? This is them talking with Mike Mignola, them talking with Jeff Darrow, there's gotta be them talking with Tom Scioli. Well, Tom Scioli was like their friend. Both of them lived down in Pittsburgh, right? So they lived right by each other and had like grown up making comics by each other. So, doing a show like together. It's kind of but yeah, they got to talk to Peter Laird, Paul Pope, Todd McFarlane, Mike Allred. I think they did a couple interviews with Rob Liefeld, Gilbert Hernandez, Kelly Jones, all kinds of Steve Rude from the Nexus Comics, all kinds of them. Matt Wagner, the Grendel guy, Seth, all kinds of different comic creators. One of the things I found their show in 2020, right? I had been they talked with Eric Larson. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to get too in the weeds about their and they kind of like showed how to do it, like put all your kayfabe merch for their show. They had the links to their comics. I think it was in 2020. I just grabbed a bunch of these comics. Well, here's another one. He did these X-Men Grand Design comics, right? A lot of people said it was kind of looked like if Robert Crumb had done the X-Men, Ed Piskor was definitely influenced by Crumb a lot. But and it's just kind of like a retelling of the X-Men stories. So you got yeah, that's how I want to get that image of I guess I could gotta blow that up if I want to show that. It's so dumb. Here, hold on. Let me flip this thing over to that thing. Yeah. I'll make this solo for a second here. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show. Was like it's like redrawing like the X-Men like from their start and kind of like retelling the story, but more condensed, I guess. So like 100 issues of the X-Men is like 10 pages or whatever, 30 pages, whatever it worked out to, And he's a competent artist. He's a good drawer. Nothing, can't complain. I always enjoyed his stuff. Oh shit! I bet I didn't see. Oh yeah, it says it was Warzone. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you used to watch the kayfabe show. That's cool, Dennis. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good show. And Nicholas is here. Oh boy, it's all our friends are here in Romper Room. That used to be my jam as a kid. Was fucking Romper Room. That lady had a mirror. She like looked through the mirror and she could see you in your house. Like, I see Ben. They're watching the TV. I'd be like, what? How does she know? How does she know I'm watching the show? Yeah, fun. You know what I'm saying? A good. Oh, let me. This camera I put up here, I think I might need to switch them back and forth because this one up here only has the light on one setting. It only has one light. The other one, That's him drawing like the turtles. That's him drawing the Ninja Turtles right there. That's the first family of Marvels, Fantastic Fours, fighting. So that's what I'm saying. Like he retells the X-Men origin stories, and then kind of like the bigger stories. I think there's 2 volumes of this. Yeah, the second one is has like the Phoenix or whatever, but they're also like in like regular comic sizes. This is like, like look at. Show you like a regular. Here's like a regular size comic compared to this thing. It's the Treasury edition. I think that's pretty cool. Just that it's a huge. Take this thing off of there. So great cloudy days here. What? I pushed every time I push the buttons on this, like it's like they're not there. Hale just got back from the store. Excellent. I didn't go to the store today. I got everything I needed at the store the other day. So, but yes, this was like kind of like his thing that really solidified Ed Piskor as like just like a living, just like this is how you do it. If you're gonna break into comics, that's like you did it. You get to do your own X-Men book. Like it just said X-Men Grand Design by Ed Piskor. Right? It does it. It just all of this is him. Right? Like it just has Ed Piskor, cartoonist, all of the colors, the lettering, the inking, the writing is all. That's a good picture of space. And like when you zoom in, it's me. I'm up there watching. Watcher. But yeah, he did like all of the comic. You know what I'm saying? Wrote, drew, inked, colored it, lettered it. And then he also did, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very well. This is a kind of good example of it. As he put, he did the colors like so they look, they look like they used to back in the 60s and the 70s and maybe like the 80s, using the little dot patterns for the color. He did that, and then he also added a layer that made like the white just of the paper have like a kind of antique look to it. Like I bet it doesn't come across the best over here. Maybe if I get I don't even know what I would compare it to. What's modern? Oh, I know. Here. Grab the this is all Morbius. What the fuck? Here's like a Hellblazer comic, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. It's like the there we go. Our page was 2 of them. Yeah. See, in between all the panels is all just white border, right? It's just there's just no ink. That's just the color of the paper. It's plain white paper, right? So rather than doing that, he put like a layer of like a effects layer in his photo program, his comic creating program, to make all of the paper look like pre-aged, and like they came out like in regular comic book size too, and that's how they looked in all of those. And he had the same like not glossy paper, like matte paper or whatever. Good stuff. There's him drawing some scrolls. Looks pretty good. That's the easiest way to like tell how people draw is how they draw Nazis, you know. Look at him breaking what's his face out of jail there. His hands icing up. He's getting right. Oh, okay, let's do it. Some scene there, the jail, all the X-Men figured out how to get people out, young mutants, break the young mutants free. So that was his X-Men. Like I said, there's like a second volume, and then this is the other thing. This is I think the first thing I had gotten from him back in 2011. 2011 or 20, I think it was 2012. I got this from Gary Dumb, one of the main illustrators that illustrated Harvey Pikar's comics, which Harvey Pikar is how Ed Piskor got his break into comics, right? Like he illustrated a couple stories for Harvey. So I guess actually this might be, I think there's other ones too. Like I have some of the Harvey Pikar stuff, but I'm not like a Harvey Pikar completist. But so there's several different artists in here. I think Gary Dumb's the main one. Let's see who else is in there. Additional art by Josh Brown, James Senamo. But so at the end is this little page, this little story here. And this is a book for some sort of political, the SDS, the Students for a Democratic Society. So, you know. So anyways, fun stuff like people kissing, making out, more Nazi stuff. And I think this is after, I think this came out in 2008, I believe is what it is, 2007, 2008. So that was one of the people they had at Abu Ghraib, Twin Towers. It's good. Skulls and stuff. And it just talks about this. The whole thing says page 205. So there are 200 pages before this all about, I assume, leftist political jibber jabber, But I mean, ignoring whatever the words are, his drawings, it's good cartooning. You know what I'm saying? This is just when he starts out. Well, I mean, he'd been like working on his own stuff or whatever, but this is when he kind of like gets his break, is working with Harvey Pikar. I mean, this is Black Student. Is that Muammar Gaddafi? Or is that? I don't know. So, anyways, political stuff. I've done political cartoons. They're fun. Everyone can relate to them and either hate them or like them or, just hate politicians in general. So it's, you're pretty much guaranteed that 2/3 of the people that read them will probably hate whatever your political comic is about because, they have a different opinion. But that's what I'm saying. That looks like a little Wolverine there almost, doesn't it? Because that was the way he got the X-Men job, is that he posted a big picture of him drawing the different X-Men. And he was like, "Hey, Marvel, you guys should hire me to do an X-Men comic." And then they did. There's Gary, picture of Gary Dumb at the end. Self-portrait. Is that me? No. I've got an interview. I interviewed Gary Dumb before. He's a fun guy. He's kind of not a leftist, but he's not one of the sorts of leftists that wants to, beat me with a bat on site. So I appreciate that. Ed Piskor is a young cartoonist and principal artist of the forthcoming volume, The Beats, scripted by Harvey Piskor. Visit him at www.edpiskor.com. So I think this is yeah, 2008. Yeah, so that was 2008 was when he was just breaking out, just getting out there. And yeah, so anyways, I don't know if we should so that was the other thing. The thing that had gotten him the real big attention was, like I said, the hip hop family tree here. And this is like, I remember like seeing it. It was originally like an online comic on Boing Boing, right? And it's just, like I said, it's just the history. I'm not going to open it up. This thing's, it's like $500 if it's unsealed. If it's sealed, like I can't. Yeah, I'd have to get like $500 of super chats, and also have to be able to get super chats in order to like, just bust open a $500. But do my plug for a minute here. I'm a comic book creator here, working on let us get my own comic of horrors, true crime, goth true crime is what we're calling it, and autobio terror. I'll be releasing I should have the Indiegogo. I've got the is Nicholas a mod? Are you a mod? I can't remember but there's like I've got I'll put the Indiegogo thing in here, the sign up link, but it'll launch in a couple of weeks. I got to get a video done. Anyways, my promise here, the Dr.Ben's comics promise, I pledge, is that when we reach 500 subscribers, when this channel can become monetized, what we're going to do is we're going to take this comic, this Arcade issue number 2, R. Crumb on the Modern America, Paul Krusner on Lenny Bruce, comics, fiction, and more. Summer of 1975. This beautiful cover by Robert Crumb. Look at her. She's not wearing a bra. I can tell you that much. Crumb is just, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know like Piskor like loved Crumb. Like he covered a lot of the Crumb stuff. But anyways, this is in a CGC thing, right? It's a 5.5. Not even the back of it is it's almost, it's just getting loose. But anyways, we're gonna bust it open. We get to the 500 subscribers. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone. Help poor old Dr. Ben out. Get him so he could just get a $5 super chat and quit his whining. We'll bust this thing open. I'll do like a poll, like how to open it up. Like I got like a chainsaw. I think that would be cool. Or I got like a ninja sword, or I was thinking maybe like a blowtorch. You know what I'm saying? Like burn up. But then I was like, then the whole thing would be burning. And what if it started, the smoke would go in there and hurt the comic? But like if I get just a chainsaw and just, or like I'm saying, I think if the chat could come up with a good idea for how to open it up, we'll do it all on camera and have like drinks or something. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But so that's the promise that I'm making here. Working, finishing, putting together. Let us get. It will be like an anthology, kind of like whatchamacallit, like Tales from the Crypt or something. And this is the other thing. I need maybe tomorrow or the next review I'll do some of these. I've got a couple other Robert Crumb comics because they're always like, do more Robert Crumb stuff. Okay, but this one this one is a little bit more troublesome than some of the others, That's what I'm saying. We'll have to We'll do that on a separate stream, but you know. Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
Put it in the fridge.
Okay. It's gonna be in the fridge. Fantastic. No. That's what I'm saying. This is exactly the one that is not, because there's yeah, you can see from that, like, what that's what I found too, is like you could show some stuff and like a lot of times YouTube won't even, like, there's like all of it's in there. Blah. Everything. I mean, it might be like that one. But that's what I'm saying. YouTube is not really that smart. Like, or you can look at it that we're training the algorithm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This one is this is his family comic, and it's I didn't even realize that. I found it like at the local like buy sell trade. I found this one and another one for like $4. I was like, oh shit, it's mine. And then like I start reading it, I'm like, oh man, that's the that is the extreme one. Oh, is that supposed to be like a dancing wiener or something? It's like a dancing Mr. Peanut. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's I think Ed Piskor would be fine with getting derailed by looking at Chrome Comics, you know, like that's just what else should we look at? Oh, I could go back to pull us out of the okay, yeah, so this is go back to what did I just do? Oh, there. Okay. So as I'm saying, lots and lots of videos covering comics, doing interviews, reviews. It's a fun show, you know. And like Jim Rugg did the Hulk grand design, right? Ed did the X-Men, and then Jim did Hulk grand design, which got the same big treatment. And then Scioli did the, what was it, Fantastic Four grand design. So, you know, it's like they're all down in Pittsburgh, right? But so that's about where like the good part of the story basically ends. Let me see here. Let me pull up. I guess now I don't want another YouTube thing. So last, okay, yeah, this is the one to bring up. Is definitely this is Heidi McDonald's Comix, comicsbeat.com. Beat. Multiple women accuse cartoonist Ed Piskor of grooming and misconduct. So this happened March, the end of March last year. Because she still has all this stuff up there. Hasn't like updated her. Well, we'll see if she's updated it at all. Not. I ain't subscribing to no shit. Oh shit. Hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we have someone here. I just got to use the same old ones. Only use
Somebody holler if you want to party.
I kind of like this one, Bob. Read it.
playing? There.
Today is a solemn day.
Did it play? I don't even know if that thing played.
It played.
I know.
Today is a solemn day for the remembrance of a victim of self-deletion, an artist. And
No.
yeah. Yeah, I got my funeral attire on. Yeah.
Just your funeral attire on. Oh, I should turn off the beat. Oh, you do? Oh shit. Well, I wore my chain, my bling, and my soldier slim shirt for another fallen soldier.
I pour one out.
That's what I know. Well, I did get I got 2 glasses for shots. I don't know if I want to like pour it on the floor. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? Am I supposed to? I don't want to throw it outside. I don't know. Does that mean like that? This is the thing too. Like I saw, his brother had posted today about it, because this is the day that like everyone found out that he died, he killed himself, and his brother was like, nothing has changed, like nothing. It's like I want to see some kind of change, I want to see something, and it's like, no, yeah, it's like there's just nobody talks about any of it, and they just all do the same craziness. Like it never ends. Like and now this is the thing too, is they're all more like emboldened, because like if you don't like someone now, and if you're in like the mainstream comics or even the right-wing comics or indie or whatever, if you're not in the in group, they have that whole any kind of politics now. That's just like a super wedge they can shove in anything, and like everyone does it. Like, oh well, you're not leftist enough.
You don't like so and so? Yeah.
Well, you're not. You don't like JD Vance?
In group, out group, tribalism. The madness of crowds.
Well, I mean, I will. JD Vance is from Ohio, so I mean, he's like my people, so I'd have to.
Your people.
If you don't like JD Vance,
you're out of here.
Time to hit the road. Time to roll it up. yeah, that does feel like cool, because like they're. But then I was like thinking about it. I was like, wait a second. Like there must have been like other presidents and shit from Ohio, because like there's like the James Garfield like presidential house or something is in like Cleveland, or like right outside. You know what I mean? Like he must have been from Ohio. Or would you just, or unless he like chose to like, I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like it's crazy. So that's what I mean. Like, and seeing people like talk about him. I was talking with another buddy last night, and every time like anyone talks about Ed Piskor, like his family, his friends, it's always like he just he had a sudden mysterious illness. It was just a sudden tragedy. Like just we don't know. Car accident. It's just weird. Like they're none of them talk about.
Not like he was bullied into, harassed into, into thinking he had no one there, for him. Over 1,900 videos. It was coming up on 2,000 videos that they had together. Yeah. And that guy's just like, I disavow, or I mean, you could keep your mouth shut and just be like, I'm waiting for the penny to drop or whatever, right? But no, you just kind of disavow and put them aside, and
right.
And you see the repercussions of that. It's one less person in the world, and it's not it's not a thing to celebrate, but there were people celebrating it. Still that sentiment towards, like you mentioned, it's a tribalism thing. It's not left enough, or was on the wrong side, in group, out group, whatever. Was it Heather Antos or someone that had little cards or something that said men will, like name tag cards or something at a con right after he self-deleted, that said men will literally, rather than go to therapy, just leaving a big empty space for anybody to write in, men will literally self-delete.
Like part of me wanted to go to that because it was like that's what I'm saying. It was Cleveland. That was the show. So I remember like seeing that and just being like if I went, I feel like I would have like like I wouldn't have been able to like not say something. I'm fucking bitch. What the fuck is your just because I mean it was literally like April 1st. Satanic horror. Back to Hades. It's and that's the other thing. She's of course one of the people that's always running around with Satan shirts and I love Satan shirts and I'm a Satanist and this and that, and not to speak ill of the dead, but one of the people that I was talking with said that Ed had actually claimed that he was a practicing Satanist or at least an atheist, or like definitely in the making fun of like not like the anti-Christian sort. I could see it. He did have a lot of like pentagrams and stuff like for some of their shirts. I think actually I could probably bring that up. Well, like I said, I don't want to get too off in the weeds on like everything, but like this shit's real. Like the devil stuff, that shit's real. Like regardless of whether you believe it or not, and regardless of whether there's
so much of it is the presentation or the front that it's simply non-religious or but then behind it is or it's like freedom from religion, right? Freedom from the confines, it shackles, moral hindrances or whatever. But then at the back, the esoteric side is, a lot more Satanism, a lot more devaluation of humanity. Dennis would like a Satan Frappuccino. Sounds good.
Satan is a Frappuccino. Yeah, they're probably that's exactly it. That's what I expect. Like this fall is like pumpkin season. Get your Baphomet cappuccino. Get your grande Baphomet latte, or like it's packaged into this whole
kid-friendly, safe to work kind of thing. Yeah, commercial.
Yeah, it's like it's just as valid as anything trivial. Else you can be, or that that's what you should do. Like you should be. This is what you should be doing. And Ruby's here too. What's up, Ruby Kang? Getting there, slow but sure. Slow but sure. That's the thing too. Is it's like I don't think anyone was like, Dr. Ben's probably just gonna have like a really happy stream all about Ed Piskor. Like, like the guy that was his buddy Brian Moss has a whole channel where it's like all these little guys are all like, they were just crushed when he died, and so they all started making comics about Ed Piskor when he died, and like they just have probably daily meetings where they all talk about Ed and make comics about Ed, and but they're all just happy. It's all just like the happy memories of Ed. That's Ed loved comics. We love comics. We're doing
I recall those. Some of them.
And they're this I mean is it's it's good to like have like good memories of people or whatever, but if you don't,
but to ignore, like that's what we're saying is to ignore, what grooming,
and, like, here,
other forms, misconduct,
other misconduct. So that sounds serious. Been accused on social media by multiple women of grooming and other forms of conduct. The accusations began and look, there's not.
Okay,
there's
she
not
was
like
17 at the time of the messages, but then by the time this all came to light, or by the time this happened, she was like 21 or something, right?
Right.
20?
Right. Well, it says that she was.
So they just say when a young female presenting cartoonist, not a female, but a female presenting cartoonist. It's like, you don't know if she had a date. We can't judge that. We can't decide.
Why does it even
Who
say
am I to
that?
tell somebody what they are?
A young female presenting cartoonist whose name we are not publishing here shared screenshots of DMs with Piskor via Instagram stories. The screenshots show dated DM conversations with Piskor that took place in 2020. Cartoonist was just 17 and Piskor was 38. Based on the screenshots, Piskor was aware of her then age and calls the cartoonist a naughty girl and says she'd be a good partner in crime before asking, "You're not a snitch, are you? Yeah, you're not a snitch, are you, Kelly? You want to do some crime?" That's like, for one, like in Pennsylvania, the age of consent's like 16, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
So it wouldn't even if they did have some sort of actual, like you can talk to people and all that, and that's not illegal. You can try to date people or whatever, and
right,
could be creepy or something if you're like trying to date but if they're not actually doing sexes, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not actually a crime. It's once, but none of that was even like mentioned. You know what I mean? It's all like just this kind of like this is the proof is that he called her a naughty girl.
DMs are lower in the article too. If we're on the same comics beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DMs are. Yeah, if you scroll down.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So these are. I wonder if I can.
Yeah, I had some things I was going to pull up or thought about pulling up, but I didn't get enough time to look at them, so. I mean, these are the DMs.
So this is.
Or these are parts. These are excerpts.
Right. Yeah, this whole thing down here is her commenting. This big, long. This is her sharing like her big reveal too. Is she told him sometimes, but I'm a slut for line art. He says, "Damn, this is incredible work." He says, "Are you 17 or 18? Because I'm gonna be mad if you say 17, because this crushes me."
You said I'm a slut, so I was like,
but they're talking about like line art, like actual like.
I know, but it's the words. So.
Right. Well, that's I mean, they're edgelords or whatever.
was that in 2020? The DMs.
Yes. So this would have been in 2020, like her saying this when she's 17. And so that's what she has. That's her big evidence. I don't like sex pests. I don't like fucking sex pests. I don't like creepy old men who think they have the ability to play around.
She misspelled malleable
young girl. Like all of this from like he was like talking about art with her. Like the rest of them is like, yeah, this is really good art. Yeah, you should keep drawing and keep doing this stuff. If you're ever over on this side of Pennsylvania, need to crash somewhere, like I have an extra room. Like that's the thing that like these indie cartoonists, that's what they do is they let each other sleep on the couch. You got one of these poor indie cartoonists. They let them come in and sleep on the couch because they're all bums.
Now that I think of it, he probably, had to do that plenty of times. But it's
Yeah.
different for a woman, right?
Well, I mean,
it's true, but
if you're a leftist and men and women are equal, then you don't want to not offer them. Because this is the thing. It's like he was always talking about people coming over to his house. This is 2020. 2008 is when he started doing comics with Harvey Piskor. The X-Men comic, I think it came out in 2018, 2017 or something. And the Hip Hop Family Tree, that was going, I think that was like his big thing that was going all after the Harvey Piskor thing, I think. Because like I remember seeing him in 2012, right? Like he was at like a Cleveland convention that I was at. And like I interviewed, it was the one that I interviewed Jim Rugg at and a couple other guys, but I didn't interview Piskor for some reason. But I remember seeing him, and it was like he was already like super popular. Like it was a little show, but like there was just always like a crowd of people around him. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get over there. And I was like broke too. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I spent $50 to make comics that I then tried to sell, and like. And then I didn't have any money until like the next paycheck or whatever, like it was comics is weird.
That's the real life.
That's how it is.
A lot of people
making these
a lot of people don't get that. Like, not everybody's got money.
But that's exactly
not everybody's got $10,000 to make one book.
I mean, God bless you. If I had, just $15,000 that I could just flush down the toilet. I'm just going to make a comic, and I'm just going to pay for a whole bunch of art. And I don't know if anybody even likes this stuff.
It's already niche.
I'm just going to spend all this money.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, you're already in a niche group with comics. But yeah, I mean, if I had,
but then you can congratulate yourself. I made a comic book.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Then you could say I'm now a published comic book creator. I'm now a cartoonist. I'm a cartoonist now. I am equal with Charles Schultz, Ethan Van Sciver. Past Ethan Van Sciver, I did it on my own. I didn't need DC Comics to hit me out. I made my own comic. I don't need Marvel comic. I just made my own shit. Jim Lee, what I'm saying? Like I'm equal with all of these guys.
Those guys, in fact, those guys had it easy.
They got skill, so it's easy for them to do it. I had to use my not having skills in making comics to make money other ways. I could then sink into comics. But you just. And look, it's just this wall of text. This is the thing that I've realized. Anytime I see like this pattern of like someone writing and it's just a wall, this wall of text, blah, 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 blah. And then some of it is like capital, all caps.
She's like, this happened to me. Young girls, all caps.
Why was she talking to him then?
Inappropriate age gap. Calling me kiddo.
He's to this day slides into my DMs calling me kiddo. I need to come up with like a female voice that's like, to this day slides into my DMs calling me kiddo. Further confirming our inappropriate age gap. But this is how. The other thing is like my interaction with the story is that like before this lady dropped her weird accusation, right? I was like,
drop it?
Well, because her posting it on Instagram or whatever, right? She dropped her accusations. He is.
Oh! I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Before that, I had like, what was it? I was going to do like an April Fool's I wanted to do like an April Fool's roast and just do comics.
Yeah.
Just anybody in comics, like anything you say, you know, Peanuts is stupid because it sounds like penis, or, you know, like whatever. Like Blondie should be Brownie, or, you know, like just any kind of whatever you want to say. Like that would be the perfect time. All those people that hate Rob Liefeld and are like, oh, Rob Liefeld can't draw feet. That would be the perfect time. Like, oh, for you guys here, Rob Liefeld can't draw feet. His feet are dumb. You know, like you could, and just let everybody get it all out. You know, kind of similar to like your concept about like different like comics groups needing enemas. Get all this shit out. Just bleh.
All at once. Same
Just
day,
all at
just
once.
24 hours.
And
Purge.
I guess I could pull up that is probably what I was going to thinking to pull up was my Instagram, because that was what I had done. That's what I'm saying. That's where I had kind of interacted with the story. In that, well, and also his the group, the fan group that he had, that was the group that I had been kicked out of, right? The Cartoonist Kayfabe ringside seats. They had kicked me out for being pro Comics Gate and being against. They were all against Eric July, right? Like all the people on the left were against Eric July just from SCO. You know what I'm saying? Before they even heard of his comic, he's going to make comics. He shouldn't even be saying, criticizing things. He's a right winger. He's, you know, the same as. That's how, like, when Ethan was saying that Eric July is Comics Gate, that's what he means, is that like anyone that's going to care about this stuff,
other people
Eric July's
outright see him as a
he's a libertarian, or he's not a libertarian. Who knows what he is, right? A capitalist, anarcho.
Anarchist who uses the cops and they arrive in 9 minutes to you know, when somebody takes a picture of the public front of the building.
Yeah, he's
9 minutes,
but he's trying to be more professional.
Lowest priority level too. So he's a protected class. He's a YouTuber. He's a protected class.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Shit, like going to town and they're like, oh, there he is. He might be streaming right now. But
fuck them whole ass roads. I was on the road earlier, man. I'll tell you, these motherfuckers on the road today, where the hell they learned to drive. Ooh, that's a great song, but you know,
fuck them whole ass roads. So this is
how my own damn kids.
She's talking about all this. This behavior is disgusting. This is me saying what happened 2020 to 2021, and if this happened to you, you're not alone. Unfortunately, I need a T-shirt that says, I wanted to highlight it. Ed Piskor tried to groom me. I didn't even get a free copy of X-Men Grand Design. So I was like, she wants a T-shirt that says, like, because I read all this and I'm like, wait a second, she doesn't have anything that she said. Because, you know, like if someone says, hey, someone did something, they tried to groom me, blah, blah, blah. It's okay to like hear their story. You shouldn't just be like,
yeah,
I don't believe a bitch. Bitches is hoes is lies. You know, like that's not the right response. You know,
right?
And it's like, wait a second. So this is her claim of like what happened. This is some like words that she didn't think. What?
And
none
of it is outright propositioning.
No, none of it's like at all. That's what I mean. Like it's so. Scroll down like a million.
There's just this thing that happens when people worship women, when it's the believe all women mentality, and it's like that's what she said happened, so it must have happened. She just said the, you know, so things also get broken down into just a one-liner. Ed Piskor tried to groom me. period. So then that's the headline. So it's believe all women. So then it's 100% true.
Shit, that's what happened.
And then maybe after the fact, 6 months down the line, you question it a little bit. Something else comes out. A retraction is on page 40 or whatever, right?
Okay, I think I'm here.
Well, then you have the other hard-headed side, which is like, believe no one. So
Right.
where you were coming from was right dead center. Like, you should listen to people. Yeah, period. And judge it for yourself.
Okay, we're getting close to it here. That's what I'm saying. It's like, for one, I have like dial-up internet. Like I have to rely on passenger pigeons for my internet speed. So this is like it's loading. This is Instagram loading on my end here. It's just holy fuck.
There you go.
Okay, so this this was the other thing. Is my other response was that we looked at a bunch of the Red Room comics, and we were making jokes because that was like I had like fan art in one of the issues, and
I recall that now. Yeah,
I'll try.
Should I disavow? Fuck you forever. You suck.
It's like me saying that we need to make a
Let's
blacklist.
look at some of the fan art. There's fan art on this one too.
Let's probably make a list. Whoever's on here in this shit, I mean.
It's like a 4 megabyte file, but it's just loud.
Send them to the
wall. Put them on the list.
Yeah.
Check them out because these people are fucking evil,
vile,
disgusting. I mean,
these people are dangerous. There it is.
What's the next? What? Here, why don't there's a new issue? Let's look at something else. There's a new issue of Hate coming out. Peter Bagg, he's coming out with new issues of Hate. Got new issues of Hate coming out. I'm going to do a new edition of Space Jam 2 with LeBron James. I'm going to do a new edition of that, and a new edition of How to Draw Comics the 1963 way. I just immediately went into Shilling Comics too. Like I went from here's some comics. Would you like to look at these? I have comics for sale also.
About 4, 5, 6 other things to look at. Let's not focus on my work anymore.
So this was what she wanted, that shirt. So
there's a donkey in the bed, a dead hooker in my shed. There's a jet ski in the pool, so much blood inside my stool. There's a dead moose in my car, a dead fetus in a jar.
When
and he is considered
Ethan was
number 2.
Yeah, discussing all of it. It was.
Ed Piskor is here. He says it's not funny.
Yeah, we're watching it unfold.
Let me know what you guys think.
It's like at first, we want to joke about it and everything, but then less than 24 hours later, or just over 24 hours later.
On that stream, Ethan was even that's he'll probably have to come over here and make comics. That's fine. He can come over and sell his comics over here in Comicsgate. That's because it was like that was all anybody. It was like a couple days. It was like 4 or 5 days of like everyone talking about this and going crazy, and it was wild. And then then they started announcing, like, the news showed up at his house,
at his parents' house, and they left the
right. Well, they
number
went to
for the
his
house.
He didn't
the address
answer, and then
there, not blurred out.
The gallery canceled him. They're all his multiple women. Oh my, and this is what the news is just running them through the mud. And like, like to me, the only thing that can deflate stuff is humor. You know what I mean? Like when someone's like all mad and pissed off and blah, blah, and especially if they're wrong. You
gotta laugh to keep from crying sometimes, right?
Yeah. If you can make fun of them. So that's what I'm saying.
If we can make it out of a dark situation, yeah.
And this is
Yeah, and her name was Sid Goblin.
Yeah. They deleted her account.
Goblin.
You can't see the comments as easy on here as you can like on the phones or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, how did you make this video? And then a couple of videos later, you're making a tribute saying, rest in peace. You're a clown. And I'm like,
are you happy now? Que matones que son. Rip. And you want the attention because you're nobody, man. Oh, so a lot of justice for Ed Piskor. Hashtag justice for Ed Piskor. Okay.
No one hired you to play Internet Crusader. Now you finally have all the attention, and yet no one cares for you. Just about Ed. Sad on the part of the killing him. With even
it shows how much so many people had to say, outright.
Oh my! It keeps. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just. I think some of them might have gotten. Oh, that's load more. Okay. Then there's other people that are like super mad at Ed. And then, like, if you bring it up, they're like, he's a blah, and they freak out that way. This is some vile stuff. Seek help. that was like one of my favorite ones. Like,
are we the baddies? All right.
Oh yeah, and this is. I did make a statement back. See, that's the thing too. Like everyone's like, "Don't read the comments, never read," and it's like, why? Like I don't care. Like why are you on social media if you don't want to hear what people have to say? Like, if you don't like what they say, you're gonna get mad. Like,
P. Diddy, you remark, right?
Oh yeah,
you remark P. Diddy, and that's like the prophet of Comicsgate. I think AI had called you, Grok had called you or something, because you were I don't know, some of your recent tweets were like, come to CG Church, sinner, repent.
Oh yeah,
it's like Dr.Ben is a prophet of
the church. I'm in believers.
I mean, it was like you were, you're making a similar statement about P. Diddy way back then, a year ago. Yeah, 1 year ago, 52 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing is that, like, he was like, that was what the news, that was the same week that all the stuff with P. Diddy first started breaking. Like, oh shit, like P. Diddy he's been Diddy and Bieber for one, and like others, And it was just like, what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's like Hollywood news. Like next week it'll be a different one and somebody else or whatever. But it was like when you're like at the top of I don't even know if it's the game or just the culture or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just someone accusing you of something is like makes huge waves. Like you have this girl says that he's a creep, and as her evidence, she has a DM where he said she's a naughty girl. Like because like he's such a big name, because he's such a like an influential like creator. It's like it has this huge effect. Like it creates a.
He said, "You're a naughty girl," and then she replied, "I'm a slut for line art." It was like, it was so stupid. I mean, uh, you know, you really got to, I don't know, promote like mental health awareness stuff, because it's like you're not alone, right? You're not alone. You are among hundreds of thousands of other young men or grown men being accused of things that they didn't do. Or just the presumption, not the accusation, but just the presumption that what happened? I had something like that happen with me. It's like, what happened? And it's like, nothing. Because it was just in the same vicinity. I'm like,
I know.
Whoa.
I'm living it. That's how it is.
And so, a weaker man would, right?
Well, I guess, if it's all your friends all turn on you, I guess I think it's mainly he didn't want to hang out with us, maybe, is what it is. Ed Piskor was like, I'd have to go and hang out with Comicsgate people.
I don't want to be in exile with my friends.
And, everyone's turning, everyone is just, we're not even going to do business with you anymore. Like, that's a really big, like, the business, like, debanking people, that's like a huge, man, I'm sorry, like, everyone's over here's bros before. Hell yeah. Bros before house. Yeah. To be fair, like, he did, like, every issue, he had at least like a dozen, sometimes 2 dozen different pieces of fan art in there. Like, he had like a lot of creators like followed Ed just because he was like he knew his stuff. He knew all the history. He knew all this stuff. Nicholas says, hindsight is 2020. It does appear to have been a bit of a setup, like he said in the letter he left behind. Yeah, like, it definitely was like, because it was after she said that, then like the next day, another lady, like one of the ladies that he had dated or something, was like, oh yeah, I didn't like him. I felt he was creepy. And it was like someone that they had done stuff or had a relationship. It was just all kinds of. And then like another one came out. There was a lady that was who said he was racist because he drew Russell Simmons with like walleyes. Like, that's racist. You can't draw him with walleyes.
It's cartoons, I mean, it's going to be a caricature, it's going to be by its own nature, it has to be, right?
Right.
Here's one that says the second accuser, whose name we have removed, posted on Instagram and Twitter that Piskor allegedly propositioned her for oral sex in exchange for his agent's phone number. And in response to the second accuser's post, a third accuser, whose name we have removed, allegedly said that last year Piskor offered to introduce her to quote unquote bigger industry folks in comics in exchange for going back to his home and letting him draw her nude. I mean, I could, but how old are they? 20 something, 30 something?
They were all women. Like, they weren't.
And it does say women,
Yeah, they weren't like it was trying to make it out like they're all. He's been going after young women all this time. Why is my thing all?
It's way zoomed in.
Like stuck on the.
There you go.
Because you were reading like below that or something.
Yeah. I could pull it up.
They're just, I see. Yeah, so they're just.
You got it.
All caps. Like this, the lady's like just. Something's not right. So it's not right. You're talking that it seems like there's something else going on, especially when like nothing. Like if she was like, he did this, he did that, you know, like I don't know. So I mean, her whole thing here is, you know, they present just the one side. You know, I'm not trying to ruin anyone's career or try and say people wouldn't reach out to artists or artists stop reaching out to their audience on social media or whatever the fuck. I'm stating that it was weird. I was 17 turning 18. He was 40. There's no good, wholesome reason for a grown-ass man to be calling a young girl naughty or telling her to come visit him. Perving on her pictures in her uniform, constant complimenting with vague implications of helping her career by sticking with him. This is what I'm trying to say by stating this shit. Okay, for one, like a comics career, like if you think that like you can just go and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna have a comics career because someone else like did this or did that or give me a good word, like you're already like you've set yourself up for just being devastated. You know, like how like childish. I mean, if she's 20 or however old she was or is or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's just like you know, like, oh well, I'm gonna this guy's gonna help me out and get me comics to do what, you know what I mean? Like it's just such a
that's such a common experience too, is like you give to get, you know, you give something to get ahead. And it's like you may be in a relationship with someone that, you know, that you hate the relationship, but it's advancing your career or your, you know, clout, whatever.
Right.
But you know, that's the Me Too thing is, but I didn't like it after the fact.
This Lanker of Bodo has been broken. Oh no. Yeah.
I'll keep this short and brief with a wall text.
Right. I'll keep this short and brief. And all of it is just, you know, just this weird, like vague, like, well, I heard this. I learned one of them was a minor. He was perusing a minor at the same time as me. I know she's getting a ton of shit for what happened. So I'm posting this in support of her. Also, to the weird people saying we're doing this for press, dude is literally a fucking loser. They had to resort to making a YouTube channel to pressure small comic shops into bulk buying a bunch of unsellable comics from him that take up space on shelves while he uses false bulk ordering numbers to falsify his success. Like,
so this person is saying, don't make a YouTube channel to get your name out there, you know?
Don't make a YouTube channel to sell comics is what.
It's one of those you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't things, you know? You can't win with that crowd, right?
What is he saying? The situation definitely gave me reason not to recommend people leave a review again.
I did find Mark Miller posted the note. So I have that if you want to pull it up. If you want me to pull it up.
Yeah, we can. Let me
He named some of the women here or what they went by.
Let me see how much further this goes.
Big Titty Taff.
Big Titty Taff. Hard to forget her. Bigger in the industry. Maybe that's who he was going to introduce her to. That maybe was a joke that they didn't understand. This in response to the second accuser's post, a third accuser alleged that the last year Piskor offered to introduce her to Big Titty Taff. Maybe that's introduced her to bigger industry folks, such as Big Titty Taff. I mean, we don't, you know, that's the thing. It's like all of this stuff is so just sort of like like wishy-washy, and well, you know, it's just so, and like I said, none of this, she hasn't like updated this. That's what I wanted to see, because she says that this other account, Turketa, they accuse Piskor of being that guy. And, you know, so I mean, it's just a whole, and then when they bring up in 2022, he did a variant cover for his Red Room series that referenced Mouse, the Art Spiegelman Nazi Mouse comic.
Yeah.
And he's been criticized for using racial slurs, including the brown word, in the past. Because I think he has in his comic, like he would have like N, and then he would have like a bunch of like the squiggly things. But you know what I'm saying? It's definitely the time to like bring all this up. Like, these girls are accusing him of this and that and all this stuff. We should talk about all these other things. You know what I mean? Like, over the years, he cultivated a bad boy persona that isn't going to be much use in defending his actions. Oh.
Because we've already, pinned him to the wall.
Yeah, he is definitely guilty, is what we have discovered. And in light of subsequent events, we have removed the names of Piskor's accusers, as well as screenshots of a Twitter X. This is the editor's note afterwards. As well as screenshots of a Twitter X account that was erroneously identified as a Piskor sock puppet. That's the only editor's note. Might have added on, like, after all these accusations, he actually killed himself and blamed all these women for running this weird campaign against him. Like, just remove the names of his accusers.
And we've heard from Comicsgate people who have been canceled, right? We've heard them say they wanted me to kill myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just they wanted to kill my, 10, 15, 20, whatever year at the time career it was at the time, but they wanted to isolate me and destroy me.
That is the goal. That is the goal.
And it's like that's what the devil wants, right?
That's what I'm saying, is that's the weird thing, that it's like it doesn't end or whatever. Like, it just keeps going. Like, I don't even understand it. It's so weird. Like, I mean, I guess, like I said though, I guess if we believe, I believe in good, I believe that there's a greater good. So I mean, if there's a greater good, that kind of means that there's like a greater evil as well. I mean, just kind of, let me see if this plays if I bring it up.
Hey guys.
Oh God, look at the face.
We're on video, but I just
video.
had to show off my new stickers, which will be available for purchase for the first time ever this weekend at Fan Expo Cleveland from April 12th to 14th. That's right. The men will literally blank instead of go to therapy sticker. Fill it in with your favorites. For example, what will you put in there? Hope to see you this weekend at Fan Expo Cleveland, table P15. Bye. I don't get too far.
Her face there is so iconic to me. Like, I think of that as just the face of like smarmy, like self-righteous hatred. Like, 'cause
you should take that face and make one of your drawings of this, holding up the sign.
Oh shit, I should do a draw picture of her. That's the thing too, is like, that's in, on April 1st last year, like I was,
yeah.
I see the news. I remember, like, I was streaming, like I was like, oh shit, I guess we're doing the stream, and Johnny was on, and like I think I think I was hoping. I think other people were hoping that it was like a literal like April Fool's prank,
Right.
Like it was gonna be like, oh no, he's really not dead. They found him. He's down at the Piggly Wiggly, or he was whatever.
Like Dennis said, he could be living in Japan. That would be nice.
He's hanging out
living in Japan, drawing titties or something.
Exactly. Like sleeping psychopathy is here. Hello.
Hell. A hearty hell and how do.
Yeah, I do wish that the guy didn't end it. I laughed. Yeah, that's the thing is I laughed at it. Exactly. Canceled until they showed up at his folks' place, and then that was dirty.
With the address on the on the house in full view of
Well, that was there was a racial aspect to it too. Like I was saying, like there's a lot of people that were mad that this white boy from Pittsburgh did the hip hop family tree. The fuck out of here. He's the one. He's making money off of black people. He's fucking exploiting us.
There is that.
Fucking white boy stealing our shit. Like that was. I mean, that was an entire. And like I said, I'd have to go back through and listen to all of the Gutter Boys. Here, I'll pull this thing off here. I think I have to stop sharing and then I'll add yours. But like, I had known about that girl saying that stuff because they talked about it on the Gutter Boys podcast, right? That's who the two other people that he names in there, that JB Rowe and Cam Calloway or whatever. Those are the Gutter Boys, right? And they had a comics podcast. They talk about indie comics, and they'd always like talk about like gossip and drama, and they always hated Piskor. Like, fucking Ed Piskor. Like every show they'd have something to say. And like I remember him going on, yeah, he was liking photos from this girl. She was 17. He was liking her pictures, and he was DMing with her and stuff, and blah, like I remember them talking about it, and I'm like, and even that, like even just hearing it, I was like, okay, so did something happen? Nothing happened.
Yeah. So what crime happened? What crime occurred? Was there propositioning involved? And it's like,
was she like 500 pounds, and that's what your thing is? Is look at Ed Piskor had to check with. That was just anything. That's what the crime never matters, or the accusation never matters, right? It's just that they never let it go, right? It's not that Mr. Self-Destruct is the king of passive aggression, it's that if Shane, you move on, and they still keep always bringing it up. Well, you remember blah 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 blah, and it's like,
you remember that time you said this, yeah.
It never.
You remember the way you said this,
and they just hard over, and it's just like that's what it is. It's not. It never is what the accusation is. It's just that's the wedge that someone will use. You have to be able to, if you try to debate it. If they're coming from like, is that called being like disingenuous? You're arguing something, but you don't really,
or just straight up malicious.
Yeah, well, like you're not like trying to discover the answer. You're not debating in good faith. You're just
good. Yeah, I get. Yeah, I get you.
Like someone could have like a good response to whatever your argument is, and you're just gonna like. No, you're wrong. That's just dog shit or whatever. You're just not gonna.
Oh yeah, contrarian stuff. Yeah,
right. They're just gonna stay being angry and stay. Well,
it's the opposite of open-mindedness. Yeah,
they're gonna move on to something else. Well, you know what? Well, he's white and he's making comics about black rappers, and when they say the N-word in the songs, he writes it in his comic. He says he writes out and like and that was, and I don't even know if that's exactly the case. Like I said, I think there's one of them. I I brought over a bunch of his comics, and now it's like I can't figure out where they went. What the hell did I do? Sometimes maybe I wonder if I do smoke too much weed. Like, wait, what happened to those comics? Fuck.
I'm trying not to jump off a bridge or something.
Right. When here, but that's what I mean. It's like none of the journalist sites. It was all just Eddie Piskor he's evil. We're canceled. He is done. We're done. He's done. And if you offered like a defense or even like a hey maybe let's hold on. Maybe these women, they would just all come at you then like now you're a pedophile. You're a pedophile supporter. You're blah blah blah. Yeah, and that
we heard he was talking to a minor. So that's what made someone come forward. That was what that person said on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. I believe this is the one that one of the women who said he offered to introduce me to other people, to bigger industry people or something like that was the phrase. If I would let him draw me naked. Big Titty Taff, yeah, I would draw you naked all day. I'd never apologize for wanting to. I like drawing tits and tattoos when I'm not drawing comics.
Yeah, gotta stop him, lock him up. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just like they bring out these things that don't have any relation to it. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, he's like, yeah, of course I draw Big Titty Taff, of course, yeah. What's the problem? Like, what do you mean? Like, why is she even bringing that up? You know what I mean? Like that's where like they're saying that like it's like kind of like a what did he call it? Like it was not like a conspiracy, but like we just said that, whatever it was called.
What, tribalism? Something?
Well, that they were all like sort of like all coming like organized together. Like it was sort of like coordinated, basically. Like,
oh yeah, someone said that.
That's where it's like, okay, well, you're gonna say this. Well, I'll come in and I'll say this too. I'll say that, he told me he wanted to draw me topless, and I told him okay, and I didn't feel comfortable with it later. He gave me like $200 for the session, but I didn't feel comfortable. Like he kept staring at me when he was drawing. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the sort of mentality.
The staring at you, and it's like
the next.
Who would have thought? An artist likes the aesthetics of a woman. It was like, who would have thought?
A setup. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, got it right, Clark.
Setup.
Yeah, it was all of them had like their little part to play, or like with that Ramon Villalobos, right? Their whole thing was to constantly be needling them online. Like, oh yeah, what are you going to do about this guy? What about Jim Rugg hasn't said anything? If my friend was being accused of doing this, grooming kids, I would be saying this and that. And like they were all just trying to increase like keep it from being trivial. Like they wanted to like up the ante, up it, and like maybe I think that might be what people call like gassing them up or something, where they're trying to like amp up people and get them hyped up.
I want saying stuff like I want more people to come forward, or the potential other victims, or such like that. And it's like, well, maybe there were none, but now there are, because now they're saying something. They never thought of themselves as a victim before, but your message just changed their mind. No, it's like they kind of had it in them already. Like,
now that you mention it, I do feel kind of uncomfortable about. I agree with that. Like,
yeah, there's a what is it? you may have heard this. Anybody that's listened to like stuff about any kind of podcast or anything about what's the term they use? Regressive hypnotic therapy, right?
Right.
It's like it does. It could just be therapy even, and all of a sudden, a person is not necessarily sleeping psychopathy, right? Not necessarily, but well, yeah, I suppose you could say that. Like the idea is, well, the question is just stated in such a manner that it's unprofessional to do so, to say it that way.
Right,
because
like
it's leading the witness, right? It's that kind of thing, and then they're already vulnerable. They're already in a state of what would psychologically be considered as trauma. You know, they're being taken out of their environment, subjected to who knows how many hours of police interviews, and then therapy, and then different therapists being introduced and reintroduced, and here's the next one, and here's the next one, and then we want to have you talk to a different one too, and it's just, you know, complete disruption of their schedule, and so it just makes them vulnerable. It makes them malleable. You know, that was one of the words that one of them people would spell. So then they can just offer them a Dennis. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, people can be easily manipulated into thinking something happened in a way that it didn't. You know, it's like you were abducted by aliens, right? Like,
right, definitely.
Or somebody touched you when you were a child, and it's like it never happened, and you thought it did because you were being weak-willed people. Yes.
Weak-willed people will always find a way.
It's just that, you know, it's so easy to traumatize a person and just disrupt them. You know, make them off balance. And then you can do so much stuff about. I think that was all that was said about Big Titty Taff. Just one passing sentence, three sentences, Hold Molly Wright accountable, please.
Big Titty Taff is.
I'm dead. I don't have a reason to lie. Hold Molly Wright accountable, please. Reputation destruction is her form of aggression, and there were very real consequences. My lawyer, right there. Is it possible to subpoena all texts and DMs I had with her? I would assume it is. I wonder if that ever happened. Over here he states, I'm a solitary guy. No, wait. Social media is how I met people. I think a lot of people can relate. My greatest relationship began at the end of COVID, thanks to meeting on Instagram. A rocky but amazing 3-year relationship. Yeah.
Is that the Molly he's talking about there with the 3-year relationship, or no?
No, not Molly. This is someone else.
Because that's what there's
3 years, and then they broke up.
There's 2 girls that are both named Molly. There's the first one, Dwyer, and then Molly Wright or Molly White.
This is probably Molly Dwyer, if I can recall, right?
Well, if it's Dwyer,
Molly Dwyer, but he's saying hold Molly Wright accountable. Where does it say? Okay. No, Molly Dwyer is Molly D. What?
Right.
What the hell? Okay, so
I think Molly Wright is the one saying they had a relationship, and that's the one that was saying that he was like that she didn't like him, or he was creepy, or whatever her problem with him. She was just throwing shit onto the fire, like
one of the additional.
He went out and I thought he was this and that. I went over to his house and we'd had sex, and I thought he had a weird looking leg or whatever, She works for Meat Canyon. That's who she works for. She's like an animator. which there's a lot of like overlap between like animators and like weird like indie comics people, like at like Oni Press and like all those weird little publishers.
Yeah,
a lot of like,
Any
circular.
fans of G.G. Allen out there? Seeing someone younger representing R. Crumb and G.G. Allen gave me hope for the next generations and made me curious. Curiosity killed the cartoonist.
Notice whose name is not listed anywhere in his
Zine Fair in town? Come crash.
Comics people have told me that, and I've never thought. No shit.
They wanted sex, man. They wanted compensation.
Oh shit! Son of a gun.
And you're like, well, we did get blackout drunk, and my ass was pretty sore the next day.
I could go meet J.H. Williams, but it would come at a price. Well, okay. Yeah, see that. That's what I kind of wonder is like if there wasn't. Well, that's what.
So Molly B was the one who was 17. Well, I guess Dwyer. Is that what you said?
Right. Sid Goblin, the one who did started all the
multiple women. Wait, where is it? Molly Wright is a conundrum to me. Yeah, okay. She sleeping is asking who's Molly Wright, right? Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Michael Hart says Molly D made the first claim. Then okay, yeah, and that's what's right here. Molly Wright is a conundrum to me, and her actions border criminal. He said, she said, never looks good, but none of what she said happened. And I can't believe she'd be so malicious and pile on like this. Now, I don't know what, she said exactly, but you're saying that was the person they had a 3-year relationship with. Well, I don't know. It's a problem with having two people with the same name, two Mollys. Only ever take one Molly, guys.
Right.
Never take two. It's a little too much.
Too much. Stew for Tuesday was not today.
Oh yeah, there was talk of a civil lawsuit. Yeah, I recall that. So yeah, he's saying Molly Wright is the one that pushed it over into the multiple women territory, which is okay. I absolutely never asked for a blowjob in trade for anything ever. Okay, this is probably the first woman who responded, because I think that was the order on the other article, right? And they just removed her name out of it. I absolutely never asked anyone for a blowjob in trade for anything ever. She successfully made me look stupid, and everybody accepted her word as fact. Citizens of the internet are playing such dangerous games with people's lives. That's it. That's I didn't know Ed Piskor until Ethan brought it up, and this is what I want to stand against.
Yeah,
playing dangerous games with people's lives that going to cause somebody to do something that.
Now, Ed probably wouldn't hang out with us because, or at least with me, I don't want to assume your political leanings, but like I'm apparently a Republican, and so I would be on the list of like the shit list. But I'm, what I'm saying, like you can't be just for stuff that you agree with. Like everybody has to have a free voice or whatever, especially the people you disagree with. Like that's the thing. Like with Ethan covering it back when it happened, was that he did have a personal thing, kind of not relationship, but like it was like a well-known story that Ethan's brother Noah went to go see, like stop and say hi to him at a show or something. He was like, I'm not talking to no Van Skyverse. Like in that in Noah's last, like his little comic called whatever, it was like a comic about him growing up and like getting Spawn 5 or something. Like Ethan's in it too, like when they're both kids. Like he had like a bunch of brothers and sisters, and like they were like the kids in town. They were like, oh, fucking Van Skyvers. I thought I smelled a rat. It's a fucking Van Skyver. You know, so it's like
you can imagine the shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were like, Ethan doesn't hide. Like they were poor when he grew up. His mom and his dad, they were hippies, and they were fucking, you know, poor. Had 20 kids or whatever. Like that's how it is, you know. Live out in these streets. Keep it real. Yeah, you know, blood's thicker than water. Like the indie comics guy that's like 10, 15 years younger than you is like bullying your little brother who's also in comics, being like, fucking Van Skyvers, you all because of Ethan's Comics Gate or whatever. Like, of course you're gonna be like, man, fuck that guy. You got canceled because some girls were saying he texted him. Fuck him. Yeah. Like people held that up like, oh, see, Ethan was happy, but it's like that wasn't.
He said Ethan was trying to cancel him, to, you know, and whatever else like that, you know.
It's like, no, that's because that's what I'm saying. Like, too, is that like on any of those streams where he was talking about it, it was always like, well, yeah, he'll probably end up over here in Comics Gate selling his comics. You know, we'll give him a shot over here too. You know.
Well, people in the chat always ask, you know, would so and so be welcome here? They ask that of Ethan, like Ethan has control over. You know, it's like it's up to the chat pretty much. It's like, is someone welcome here, right?
Right.
If the chat hassles them or doesn't, you know, fund them worth a damn, it's like, well, it's kind of like they're leaving. They're on their way. They're on their way out.
Even with the chat, I mean, you know, like, granted, like if you have like 1,000 people all watching and chatting and talking, or 2,000 or whatever, you know, like they're not going to all agree, right? You're gonna, but it is interesting because you can see like polls and stuff, and like the way like people think, and like the way people like split on like different things. Like you can see that in like real time when like they do like they ask questions, like people when they like ask the chat something, and it's like it's interesting, like just being able to see it. But like with Comicsgate, like there's so many different avenues or ways, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't like Ethan's comic, that's fine, you know what I mean? Like there's other comics that are just, you know, sometimes people don't like cybernetic frog comics. They want a, you know, a haunted western about like vampires and cowboys or whatever. They want alien seductresses or whatever, you know, like.
Or they don't want comics. They just want, you know, drama, or they want
videos.
They just want to be entertained. You know, watch a live stream, or listen to a live stream. You know, and or maybe they don't even want to mess around with the chat either. You know, so they just, you know, there's like 3,000 people watching, but there's like 200 active in the chat. All right, something like that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too, is like if you have people that are good, like Ethan's always like like calling it like talk radio. He's like, it's talk radio. You've got to be, if you're doing a show, you have to be like entertaining. You have to be talk. You can't just have like just dead air for one. But you know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, okay, this is my comic.
This is my comic. It's for sale here, here, and here.
Right. Let's look at it, guys. And you have to have like some kind of life or like energy or something, like.
Yeah.
And
charisma. Gotta have that riz.
That's Ed Piskor definitely had the riz. He was, you know what I mean? Like this is the thing they had, like, you know, I was showing you like all the different videos and reviews of comics they had. Anytime they'd cover a comic, right? Like every day they had a new video, right? Every day, 9 o'clock, new video dropped, right? Like they had like one day a week, they'd record all the videos and then just drop them every morning, right? Release them every morning. Every time they'd cover a comic, maybe not every time, but like almost every time, you know, like they cover say we're going to cover Electra. We're going to cover this old Electra by Bill Sienkiewicz, right? And you can get like single issues of the collection. Whatever comic they were talking about, like by the end of that day or the next day would like jump up in price. You know, like if you were like searching for like old comics on eBay, prices would shoot up.
How many?
Like now there's
how many
like
subscribers did their channel have?
It was usually, I think when I started, it was at like 40 or 50,000. So I mean, it was, and like every video would have like a few thousand watches. You know, same as like with Ethan's or like any of the big channels in Comicscape where they got thousands of watch. They have a bunch of live people that watch, but then people watch it afterwards. Dennis Rodriguez knows about the kayfabe effect, because you know if you signed up to be on their Patreon, they'd let you in on the videos ahead of time, so you could go out and you could go get, you know, copies of fucking Electra or whatever, have them all set, so when that video drops, you could put them up for sale on your eBay. Or if you had a show, imagine if you had a shop, imagine having a comic shop and you got guys that are every day hyping old comics. You got boxes and boxes. You got rooms full of boxes of comics of old
It's a
comics.
little bit of a stock market insider thing, you know?
It's entirely what it was. And that you saw that one lady was like, he's propping up or making people buy his comics and this, and it's like,
oh yeah, he made a YouTube channel.
He made a YouTube channel to sell. That's what it's. You sell comics. You make comics. You want to sell them. You want to sell them to people. Put them on your YouTube. You show people, hey, you know, you can get.
You want to grab an ore?
You get an ore and shove it right up you, right up your ore hole.
So you got this bit, which is the worst part of it, right? Is the hopelessness, right? I have no friends in this life any longer. I'm a disappointment to everybody who liked me. I am a pariah. So it's everybody that liked him, and then, you know, news organizations harassing, you know, hassling at my door and hassling my elderly parents. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Putting our addresses on the TV and internet. How could I ever go back to my small town? Well, didn't you know that there? I mean, it's just there's so much human wreckage with this kind of stuff. You know, the family, they don't just suffer once; they suffer continually with these kind of accusations and such. It's like, not only is he gone completely from their life, the son that they raised, right? It's or the son, the brother, the, you know, whoever, right? Or if somebody has kids, you know, it's way worse. But I mean, make you a pariah from your own town. How could I ever go back to my small town where everyone knows me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, add that in with I have no friends in this life any longer, and social media was how I met people. Yeah, Michael Hart said
I'll see you, Dennis.
Longer relationship one was Clam. Hope you're well, Clam. I never stopped loving you. This all happened before I knew you. Yeah. Banished, exiled, and banished. I'm no longer part of the tribe. Yeah, I recall hearing Ethan read some of this stuff out. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, there's, you know, trigger warnings, right?
Right.
You guys might get upset about this, but it's real. It's part of the human experience. You're going to watch people suffer in life. The Buddhists say, you know, life is suffering, right? But it doesn't have to be, right?
Right. You have to choose to not suffer or leave the wheel of samsara.
Yeah, you got it.
Right.
The instinctual part of my brain knows that I'm no longer part of the tribe. I'm exiled and banished. Self-preservation is lost out. I'm giving in to my instincts and fighting them at the same time. I've dealt with people who've, you know, felt this way before, and that this is exactly it. You know, it's
Are you the day that's the other thing. Hold on, I'm trying. There we go. That's the other thing is the day that it happened. I'm trying to figure it out. Like this old buddy showed up, and he's like sort of buddy that's not good for like a serious situation. You know, he's always drinking, drunk. Fuck that. Yeah, I've been covering this shit all week. I'm in, you know, I do comics. It's fucking blowing. I busy right now. No, fuck that. Like, dude, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, I've had that kind of person around too. Yeah, I'm trying to do something, man. Let's get fucked up. Let's do this.
And he was the one that I think I told you, like, he was the one that was like later, like with his knife, and he's like, oh, he was that guy that was threatening to kill himself later, a week or two later. You know what I mean? It was just it was just raw. Like, I remember and then getting all these messages from people. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then trying to imagine, like, I felt weird, like, getting all the messages from people, like, saying, like, how angry they were about, because I made a joke or whatever when he was still alive.
Oh.
I'm trying to imagine, like, what, for him, like, everyone that you know in your town has seen the news at your parents' house. Your dad's out there telling them to piss off and telling them you've always been a good kid. And the news lady said you were texting a 17-year-old, dude. What are you doing? Like, all your the people that bullied you in high school, or the people that made fun of you at work, or all of them are going to be, every time they see you, oh, there's that fucking pedo. Oh, he's a...
Yep.
I mean, that'd be...
Yeah, that's a label that people don't get to live down. You know, they don't get to. It's just, I mean, because it's such a heinous thing. You know, it's like never mind. She was it was the night of her 18th birthday or whatever. It was like, or never mind. It was 16. You know, age of consent in what would you say, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no. The headline said this. I'm going with what the headline said, and you'll meet those people. I mean, everybody knows there are people out there like that. You know, even if you try to keep them away from you, that they just see one
misconduct. Huh? Yeah, it's that unknown. That's I mean, it's like all of it's like permeated by that unknown, vague, and you know, and that's what is like the heart of like fear. Right, like that's the thing. Like horror writers talk about, like the fear of the unknown is like the greatest fear. Like when you have like a monster or something, as long as you can keep it hidden and not show off like every detail of whatever the monster or whatever the horrible thing is, as long as it's like there's still like that unknown, that vagueness, like your mind fills in all that it doesn't, you know, like that it doesn't know. So when you add that into like, well, what was he doing? They said he was grooming her. They were grooming kids, and he was doing other inappropriate, like just, you know.
Yeah, so then the mind fills in the blanks. Yeah, it's like, well, what was he doing? And it's like, well, I'm sure he was doing way worse. And you know, I have certain females in my family that'll, you know, ascribe to that that realm of thinking. Right? It's like, well, you know, you know how men are. Right. It's like I'm sure he was doing way. If there was one woman that said something, I'm sure there was 10.
Right. These are just the ones that are brave enough to come forward.
Yeah.
Ones that are still silent from the trauma.
So then there's that inbuilt discrimination and bias stuff, right? And I don't know. Discrimination has its usefulness, you know.
Right.
I mean, it's like it's a racial microaggression to take a, like for a woman or for a guy, anybody to cross the street if there's someone that looks a certain way, you know, in their path, like cross the street and then just keep walking. It's like, yeah, that might just save your life. You know, there's such a thing called the knockout game, where it's just like, yeah, you didn't want to offend them by avoiding them, right? Taking the other side of the road. So instead you got your jaw broken and you have permanent brain damage because your head hit the pavement at, you know, such a rate. It's your brain, you know, sloshed around in there a few times, and
we'll do it.
And that's your privilege, you know. Oh man.
Well, what you deserve if you're a racist, I mean, you know.
No public statements would do. Nobody against me would be convinced. Maybe this drastic move will convince a few. The extreme always seems to make an impression, is something I was thinking earlier today or something. Maybe it will get a couple more people to consider not joining lynch mobs over gossip. Doubt it will have much of a blip, though. I'm not doing this out of guilt, though. Once again, it's not out of guilt; it's out of hopelessness. Even though he says, I think he said, Jimmy came to his house and hugged him. Yeah, if you know Jimmy, you know how huge that is. Jim Rugg came to my house unsolicited and gave me a hug and told me he loves me. No. I knew I wasn't going to be able to survive this. Comics is beyond a profession to me. It's everything. That might sound sad and pathetic to some, but this culture and medium gave me the greatest joy in life. No public statements. Okay. There were so many out there waiting in the wings for something like this to emerge. Now we see that in Comics Gate all the time, right? On Twitter, you know, you got fucking Twitter, and you follow these Comics Gate people. It's like you see it in the comments beneath whatever they post. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like I'm anticipating your downfall because you know you're one of those, right?
Right. It's well, I hate to like hold like the Rippa stuff, but I mean, to a point, there's that too. I mean, like definitely Eric brings a lot of that on himself, being like too obnoxious, but I mean, you have the other aspect where with Neil Gaiman, right? Because the stuff with that started a couple months after this, right? It started in the summer. They started the podcast came out, a multi-part podcast about Neil Gaiman getting into a tub with running a bath for some lady that he just hired to be his nanny for his child, getting in there and sticking his fingers, much like Jay Bama stick his fingers into Shane Davis's ass. You know,
Shane said into his anus cheeks.
So, you know, like, and everyone covered for Neil Gaiman. Everyone was like, well, that podcast they're right wingers is the thing. So can't really believe those guys. It's like, wait, what? It's everyone. A couple people back then were like, I thought it was, you have to believe all the women. And like the women aren't like right wing or left wing. They're just telling their story about Neil Gaiman putting his fingers in their butt or whatever. Like, they're not like he put his fingers in there because I'm a Republican. Like, a Republican? Oh, I enjoy this song. You know? They probably would have celebrated it if that was the case. Like,
yeah. Well, you know, some would, right?
Maybe. What if we could start that? Like, you know, when you say something, you put it out into the world, and it just starts happening.
Well, like I said, with Comics Gate needs an enema, you know. All of a sudden, you know, it started catching on. I was like, yeah, I think he does have a point, you know.
Maybe that's all Neil Gaiman was trying to do, was give these women involuntary enemas, you know, trying to get it started, like get a little bit of the suction or something. were impacted somehow. But that's what I'm saying, is everyone gave him that went on for like a month or so with the thing back last summer, and everyone ignored it. None of the comics news sites or whatever talked about it. Nobody, and if you said anything, it was that's what right wing people are saying. And then it finally came around whenever it was again, like in December or whatever it was, that they kept going at the Neil Gaiman thing, and like then his stuff started getting canceled. But like with that, he has like this whole like defense choir of people that are he has multiple women, and he has now like legal cases with it too. There is some sort of like court cases that have started against him, and they're all still like Neil Gaiman hasn't gotten like a tenth of the stuff that Ed Piskor got. Like it's wild, and the two with these other creators, there was like Warren Ellis, right? The guy who wrote what was it, Red? You've seen the Red movie with like Bruce Willis and all them. It was a comic, and it was what else did he do? Transmetropolitan and Hellstorm, and I think he probably did some Avengers or X-Men or something. Warren Ellis has been around for a while.
Oh yeah. Ellis.
And he was the one that he was having sex with all his groupies, right?
Right.
Full grown women. Oh, I'm going to have sex with you. I'm a big famous writer. Okay. What else? I mean, what do people think they're doing when they're doing? Like, is he trying to marry them? I mean, what people have this lax moral attitude towards all of it, of like, we're just gonna have sex and it's just that, it's just that time we're both having fun, and then it's like, but then afterwards they're like, well, I still have feelings, I still have complicated ideas about when we were doing this, and it's like, I thought that was the whole, they were getting rid of all the tangles of family, and trying to destroy all. And I don't know, they he was having consensual encounters, right? Wasn't raping them. He was consensual. They were all groupies. They knew he was a famous guy in Hollywood and comics, etc. And they were just all mad that he had like 20 or 30 of them or whatever. And then they started, and that was
I wasn't your only hoe?
I wasn't the only. What? What do you mean? Like, what I mean? Like, it's kind of. I think it falls under the sort of like weaponized cognitive dissonance too, because like the leftist, this idealized open free sexuality, there's nothing means anything. There's no.
Yeah. And that has created a certain trauma, in the American mind. The sexual liberation masking as a masking as freedom, right? It's like, really, it's a
piss pest.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or piss past? Past.
Piss post.
Piss post.
Piss post.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a danger too. I mean, what if people don't like your comics? What if you make your comic book or your show or your song, or you write a book or a poem? What if people don't like it? Like, I mean, that means you should like just get rid of it or stop. Like, if people don't like it, that's yeah. Like, see, I guess I put out like conflicting ideas, and just like I take absurd stances just to, I don't know.
I've heard that's the hallmark of the American mind. Or the great hallmark of the American mind is being able to hold two opposing ideals or viewpoints at the same time. It's like that it's a sort of freedom, but it's also, you know, sort of slavery, right? It's like you can have too many things occupying your mind at once. So that's also, you know, a means of control, is presenting you with so many options that you freeze.
Right. You're too overwhelmed by
Option paralysis. Yeah, what's to say? Let's cut to the chase. The most devastating DM was nothing incriminating. The point, he got labeled before info was processed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, that's what I think
which he started the note with optics.
Oh, is that what
the
he started?
language and optics? You know, just like, I know this looks bad. And then, where was it? The very next morning after Molly D posted the screen caps, I put my last will and testament together.
Oof.
And then a website, apparently, where you could do it. Great service in a pinch, you know, promo for the website.
I'll have to go check that out. Well, shit. These
are the papers I would hide from you, Jimmy, when you came by with soup. I actually found a nice lady and witnesses who notarized it and made it official on a Sunday morning. How's that for efficiency? It's sitting on, I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
The shame will never go away. Please make good use of what I've built up and take comfort for the rest of your years. This will give my life and this tragedy of events some positive meaning. And it's like,
yeah.
So it's just that the very next day, very next morning, he already knew what he wanted to do, or he, you know, already had that right there.
Yeah. Basket cases, they were full of venom.
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of people say victims, but it's like, we don't, you know, and they portray themselves as victims because it gains them a sort of a, you know, currency.
She was
currency of
the ones that Piskor he was grooming. He was grooming. She was one of them. She escaped. Like, yeah, it's just
yeah.
Oh my god, is she okay? Is she okay? Did she start therapy? Did she go to therapy? Is she okay? Like, it's just, oh my gosh, like,
is she okay? Can we get a GoFundMe set up? She needs a new car and she needs therapy.
Let's get the GoFundMe.
And her dog needs medicine too. Her cat. Let's be honest.
Well, she can't work with this now. She's got, you know, she's going to be harassed by all of these, you know,
all of these right-wing comic people. And it's like, it wasn't even right-wing or it wasn't any wing or anything. It's just, it was what it was. It was people who wanted cartoon, not.
Well, that was
super fine art, right? Just like comical depictions.
They used as like a cudgel. It was like, oh, well, he's probably a right winger. He's probably in Comixgate. He's probably a secret Comixgater. Even though like they had made that like public, like, hey, we're not with this Comixgate stuff. We don't know about this. It's no good. We're against racism. You know, like they're all like had the. Like he had to have just been always kind of like on edge around all these people that were like, but he's racist because, you know, he's a white guy and he's making comics about blacks. So, you know, like,
yeah. And it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say the word that starts with a W. You know, Nick can make a tower in the chat, right? But you know, there's a kind of an obsession with like, you know, the black stuff is so cool. You know, like early hip hop, early rap, right? There's a, there's a certain fascination, right?
Yeah, it's the culture.
Yeah, and because it's different from your culture, you know, it's like, I want to know more about it. You know, like breakdancing stuff, right? Back then, right? You know, it's like, wow, that looks so cool. I want to learn how to do that. I'm gonna go buy a big old, I'm gonna go buy a big old boombox.
Oh, actually, that probably actually fits with what it says on the screen. This is that Alex DeCampi that he mentions in his suicide note there. He's saying like, hopefully you'll continue to not have success, and you'll just be a bitter. He lays into it pretty hard. This is what I'm saying. It's like this was from before everything had happened, but this is her and Erica Henderson.
Ramon Villalobos, Cam Del Rosario, JB Rowe, Molly Wright. Congratulations, you got your pound of flesh. Evan Dorkin. I hope skeletons from your closet get revealed someday. Alex DeCampi. May you continue to have zero success, no matter how hard you continuously leverage other people's business from your bully pulpit. Yeah.
Now this is the thing too. Like, he doesn't really present a whole lot of stuff of what all they did, right? Like, now they did. Everyone has made fun of him, bullied him, called him a wigger, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, well, I mean, with this, the final thing is pretty much the end of the line. Them all. I guess he must have kind of looked at it like all of his critics kind of like formed into like one, because it was like all of them just kind of like backed each other up. It was like they were all presented just a wall of, like this is all, we all agree. And he couldn't face the whole of them. But this,
he says,
this is how they looked at.
I'm not doing it out of shame. We're not built to have hundreds, maybe a few thousand people judging and or harassing us at once. We're not built to have hundreds or thousands of people harassing us at once. A private and solitary mind can't take it. It's like, it was too much. It's too much for anybody that's
The saddest part was Ed's decision.
not resilient.
Who can argue with his conclusion of hopelessness in the situation? That kid made me actually cry. If only he hung out a couple of weeks longer and rode the wave. Yeah. I mean, that is the thing, is that like, how fucking cool would that have been? You know what I'm saying? Like, if instead of sitting here fucking bitching about this guy killing himself, instead of that, if fucking Ed was here fucking laughing at all the fucking leftists and SJWs crying about Trump. He was like, I get it. I fucking get it, guys. And he was from Pittsburgh. He was his parents were fucking blue collar people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just prime fucking Trump voter, Trump, like he would have been seeing that all around people and like getting shunned by all those fucking weirdos. That could have been.
It would have been a monumental. I don't want to say it would have been a monumental win for human resilience.
Yeah.
It's just like yes, you can survive an attack of this magnitude.
That's the other thing, is that like Ed, like you watch him on the streams, like we're saying, he had that charisma. He had that, like, it's called cartoonist kayfabe. The kayfabe is from like wrestling kayfabe, the bravado, the like, hey, motherfucker, I'm going to kick your ass, and I'm gonna, all that stuff. He played a lot of that in like reviewing comics, and like, if he didn't like a comic, he'd be like, this guy, he's a fucking hack. He can't draw the blah, blah, like he didn't go like super crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he had his moments where he'd talk shit, and it was fun. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know. That's the thing too, is then you have the thing with him with Ethan and Noah or whatever. It's like,
yeah,
was he really talking shit then, or was he not? That's where it gets like kayfabe becomes real life.
Or was it just a little bit of shit, and it could have been paved over, But
that's what I'm saying. Frankenstern, I like that. Like
Frankenstern from the country of Denmark.
last year on April 1st, I was streaming today and like had Johnny Scab here, and we're both like, people are in the chat are like, what happened? We're reading the note, and we're like hoping like maybe it's like just this is a really fucking sick joke, and like to give that a little bit of weight, right?
Oh, here you go.
Pull up.
Yeah.
Flip it around to my camera. Okay, so to give it that, like maybe it being a sick joke could have been the case, right? As this was
nice, very nice.
Them all out, but
how many do you have? How many were there?
there's like three series of 4 issues each. Maybe it's in. Okay, so anyways, like this stuff is nuts. I mean, like a table full of fucking fingers and toe. He's eating.
Banned in 26 countries. Oh shit!
The steel cannibal. Oh, this is the. I'll show you the first one. This is the first issue, right?
Oh shit!
Murder on the dark web, but fun and profit. See rivers of gore.
I like that.
His stuff is like, the art is just this cool. It's this cool kind of like indie comics, Robert Crumb kind of looking thing. But then, like, even once you start seeing like the people, like it's like, oh shit, you looking at it, you know that this lady is gonna get messed up, like
that's such a level of skill too. I mean,
and just immediately that's the start of the page. They're sending drones into these sewage tunnels, and that's the bottom of the page. Damn it, another drone. Pass me another drone. But Billy,
God,
Billy can't answer right now. That's what I'm saying. And then just immediately, that's what it goes into the dark web, right? It has the dark web chat rooms, much like our chat rooms here in Comicsgate. People sending in super chats. Maybe he was making fun of Comicsgate with his dark room murder webs.
I wonder. Now we're left wondering,
Maybe that was the whole. I'm trying to find the part that's okay. There we go.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's his face. He's got a knife in his nose, like right in the middle. That hurts.
The knife is in the eye, isn't it? And he I assume his nose has been cut off.
I stand corrected.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Yeah. Her ear.
This guy's all kinds of fucked up.
Been removed. Yeah. So it's it's a horror comic. It's murder on the dark web. So this is what the oh yeah, they pay with Bitcoin. So this could that could be like Frederick Gruman under there with his Bitcoin funding a dark web murder room. That could be him. Maybe that's why he's into Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of horror. Yeah, stuff like that.
He's got.
Oh, jeez.
Eyes out. It's you can't really get much better than that. He's playing with the eyes.
This is like worse than Saw,
Oh yeah, it's smushing the eyes. I'm putting an axe in this guy's head.
He was ahead of his time. This is like Terrifier stuff,
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. It is, every page of this thing it's fantastic.
Okay, see now I'm certain, Ethan wouldn't have wanted to promote this guy. Like, is it, well, if you like violence and gore,
if you like this kind of stuff, I guess. Ooh.
Yeah.
I noticed that with a lot of conservatives or whatever, is that they do have like
go soft a bit.
Yeah, kind of pansies. Like it's like if you know, that's definitely someone getting their brains blown out. Like that's
shotgun to the back of the head. Yeah,
that's what it looks like. Yeah. Oh, this lady, she's playing with body parts. Fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
a lot of people would pay to see that. You know, I mean,
it is. You know, it's a splatterpunk comic. This is a horror comic. You don't want to have a horror comic that is like not scary. You know what I mean? Like, what are you making? Are you making a horror comic, or are you making a kiddie book? You know, like, are you making something? And her, oh my, look at, they call her Mistress Pentagram. Like, she's just the coolest looking thing for me. Let me find the there. She's like, I did have like a dream about Piskor too, right? Before he had died. And like she was in the dream. Like me and my buddy like went down to Pittsburgh in the dream. And we get to his apartment, and like she comes out, she's like, I need some money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's a fun comic. Especially like I enjoy horror comics and movies sometimes. Like not a constant stream of horror, but you know, just like sometimes it helps. You know, witnessed horrific crimes like I have. Not to brag, you know, but seeing like guys jumping off his arms.
Not to brag, but check out Dr. Ben's sign up in the description.
Not to brag, but I have seen some pretty.
You can also buy it on eBay. You can also buy the ash can on eBay. We got a few people here.
Yeah.
What is your eBay again? It is
yeah.
I don't know if you look up Dr. Ben's Comics with an X, you'll find it. I found it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The other day.
I can pull it up on the. See what I know that's. I can understand how you can get lost going through the chat. MWP12 says, true, but Ed was willing to join in with the canceling accusations of others. And then it happened to Ed, though in no way did Ed deserve what happened to him. Yeah, that's the thing that people have pointed out, is that like he was fine with all the cancels big stuff. Like he was that was something that like AKA Pad Peter had pointed out, was like they were going through
who's that? AKA Pat?
Peter DeLuca? Peter A. DeLuca?
Okay. I saw him on someone's stream the other day. He was drawing pretty damn well.
Oh yeah, he's wild. like his stuff is I don't know how to his stuff is good. It's great.
What about him? Peter DeLuca?
Like he was showing how like they were going over, Ed and Jim were going over an issue of Wizard, right? And it got to the point where like Ethan started showing up in Wizard magazine, right? When Ethan started showing up, it was like ads for Cyberfrog, and then he started like, you know how they have like the top 10 artists, like Ethan started like being on the top 10. I don't know if he was like the top or whatever, but I mean he was definitely like when he came out and Cyberfrog came out, it was a big deal back in the 90s. He was somebody, he was doing it. He was making somebody's drawing his own comic.
The Frog Prince.
Yeah, exactly. And they would skip. They would skip anything that had Cyberfrog or Ethan. They would just like, and you would see it like they'd be flipping through it, like you'd see an ad for Cyberfrog, and they'd be like,
oh, like your little Instagram clip, right?
Right. Like, oh shit.
Let's see all these people. We'll see all these people in the Red Room book. And oh, do you have that? Do you have that one that you're in? Do you have that right there?
No, I don't have. I have one copy left of it, and the guy that bought the art, I sent it along with him. I figured
Right. Yeah, I thought that. Okay.
So sent it all.
Now you can rebuy it on eBay for
I
3 times as
find
much.
it, like going through like books and going through like whatchamacallit, like you know, like going digging for comics. You know, anytime I see copies of his stuff, like I grab it. But like, you know, if you compare the number of copies of like an Ed Piskor comic that you're going to find in the back issue bins, it's not that many. It can be a lot more copies of fucking Teen Titans and Avengers, anal plugs, or whatever the last year's oversold bullshit is. You know, it's going to be 50 copies of that in the box, and maybe one copy of you know, X-Men.
Let's have a drink. Let's have a drink to those who have fallen and those who have tripped. Let's say.
You know what? I think I can just pour it out. I don't care.
Just pour it right back in the bottle.
No, well, I'll just
soak the comic in it. You know, just like, drink it up, man. This one's for you.
Give him a little bit. So there's. Oh, I'll do hear the clink. Just pouring.
To those who ain't here no more.
Dead homies. That's what I'm saying, man. It was getting all them things. Like I said, getting all those people like, are you happy now? This is what you. And it's like, I was against canceling him. Like people were like, fuck him, and like you can't like.
I was against murder.
Right, I was against.
I mean, but well, to go back to a bit where we started on, it's like it's that well, you started before I started, but okay, but the you know, the kind of Satan devaluing life thing. It's like, you know, they'll tell you it's about freedom, like freedom from being groomed, whatever, right?
Right.
So we got to get rid of these people. We have to force them out. You know? And then you see, you know, people like Ethan that were run down like you're a Nazi.
Yeah.
You're white supremacist.
Right. If you voted for Trump, that's definitely
your signature on the page is a coded swastika. You know, that's just like, holy crap. Like,
and what does he do? Is he just kind of leans into it sometimes?
Yeah, he leans into it, and it's like sometimes that's the right move, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, like that's the same.
He did that again the other day too. And it's like,
yeah, sometimes
how do you spell fun? F-U.
Mess, you know.
God.
What can you do? You can't. If you're too worried about like
somebody, you just like, hey, shut up for 5 minutes. You're gonna run some people off. But just...
I don't want to like skip all the.
Yeah, there's some good comments here.
Ed started saying things to his detractors before this, taking a shot at those he felt were not in the game. Taking a shot at those he felt were not in the game was a worker. Why I respected him, the hours that went in. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, he did like, if he didn't like somebody, he would like, or like he didn't like Valiant comics, he'd always be like, these fucking Valiant comics sucked. And, you know, like, and he didn't cover a lot of like modern, like he wasn't like going on about like, people always say like Donnie Cates is real great or whatever, or that fucking whoever the guy is that drew Irredeemable. Is that no? The one that's on Amazon, the superhero where he's I don't watch about any of those newer guys. He wasn't really covering them. He realized it was about your body of work this gore wasn't my thing, but I supported Ed and Jim by buying because I was getting so much from their content rendered. Yeah, like it's it was listening to their show was like really good. Like if you were drawing or working on something, like it's somehow like all work together. I always felt after the Walking Dead series hit, where you could go from there, where could you go from there? Yeah. See, yeah, I think these were back when I were like saying something else. I think Ed got that too. KFAB still has the best interviews and commentary. They ask the best questions, and they grades themselves, respect them as a breath of fresh air. Yeah, that was the thing. They had everyone, like they had Todd McFarlane. They interviewed Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld. They didn't interview Jim Lee. I think he's one of the only ones they didn't really interview from like the big like 90s Image guys. And Dale Keown. Didn't interview Dale Keown. Me suggesting that they interviewed Dale Keown was a stabbed my heart with the look of disdain that I got for suggesting Dale Keown. Like Dale Keown, this Comix gate. Like it was like literally like angry. How could
he's one of them? Yeah.
Dale Keown. Man. He's Comix gate.
And Dale, you could just picture Dale just grinning or something, you know, not even like really saying anything, or maybe if he had a few drinks and he'd be like, "Yo, fuck you too," you know. I didn't like you either, you know. Just talking shit. Yeah, it's funny when Dale just talks some shit, you know.
Oh yeah, they interviewed Ralph Bakshi, the director of like everything, all the cartoons. Like he did Cool World too, I think. Ralph, and what Rats of Nim? Is that what it was? Rats of Nim, Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. He did that. Actually did everything. They interviewed him, like just almost everyone. Yeah, well, willing to refuse to shake Noah Van Sciver's hand for blanking, or yeah, that was the other thing. Was somehow, let me get up so I can make this better. Blanking? Is that what that says?
Yeah, blanking. I guess just, you know, ignoring.
So Fraga got Ed into Liefield's studio. Ed was sucking up to the guy who did Faust, who was CG connected through EVS. Oh yeah, like he was sucking up to like Tim Vigil, the Faust guy. I think Tim Vigil is less like is just kind of like somebody who doesn't care about a lot of the clicks and stuff. He's just like, I did love his utter lack of respect for Jim Lee's art, hinting at how renowned artists in the industry didn't really respect what he did. See, that's what I'm saying. Like Ed wasn't afraid to like express his opinions. Think about like how many people that do like talk about comics and stuff, like they can't say they don't like something. You know, like everything is great and everything is good, and maybe something's not for them. Maybe they'll say that, but they're not going to be like, this guy fucking sucks. I hate this art. I look at it and like I want to rip it up, you know, like.
But you go on an auction to stream, and people are like, I hate this. What the fuck is it? Get him off of here. Get him off of here. Not real. He's not RIL.
He's drawing pictures of Donald. I couldn't believe that none of them wanted the Donald Trump picture. I was like, what? Like, no, nobody? Like I went
$5?
Nothing. Like it's like everyone else was like all all watching, and like I felt like I held up because I was like I kept talking and I kept like like laughing. I took it in stride. Like it wasn't like
and that's what it's about.
Why don't you guys want? No, let me do another piece. Let me do it. You know, like
that might have actually got a couple bids.
Maybe that.
Please, somebody. I feel like I'm really alone in my life right now.
I'm crippled. I can't. I'm in constipation all the time. Just, like just go crazy with it. This was the other thing I was gonna pull up. This is my nemesis, Dandy Don Simpson, is like the only other person in comics that has like said anything about this stuff. And like he has stopped. The last time he has written anything is end of August last year. But all of these, I think was I showing you this before? Like he has all these articles all about Ed Piskor and all about the Ed Piskor grooming hoax, a recap.
I think you must have.
Yeah, Ed Piskor's agent, don't call us, we're calling you. Beat to death, the Ed Piskor grooming hoax. Like he goes over like all of the article and everything and just kind of like
newsflash, multiple women were fond of Ed. Exclamation point. No shit. I mean, there's always somebody out there that's.
He is. Well, here, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll show you his thing because he's.
Don't show me his thing.
Yeah, it's shaved as well. Like it's big bald potato. Like when you have a potato that's all peeled and it has like a little tuber still sticking off of it. This hasn't gone viral yet, but I'm sure when the trained ninja, is he trying to say the N-word there? I'm sure when the trained ninja staff at Comics' most lethal gossip site finds out about this, they will change in a hurry. It's a post from Reddit from a month ago. It's a post from someone expressing how they cared about Ed and thought he was a good guy.
My overall impression, he was extremely intelligent, empathetic. Here's something. When we first met on Tinder.
Oh, yeah. It was. That's what this was, the Tinder one.
He messaged me in a sexual way when we first met on Tinder. No shit, because it's fucking Tinder.
That would... Sometimes that's what they do on there. On Tinder, he messaged me in a sexual way. But yeah, like this person like goes out of their way to like explain that like they stayed in contact with him after turning him down on Tinder or whatever. I can't remember if it says that they did do a date or like they just weren't into each other at all. Oh, it says I matched.
We only had anal sex.
Yeah, we only did it in it's not real sex. It's just, I was 20 years old. He was much older. I did not know who he was, nor was I a fan of his work. I still to this day have not read his work. I was into other genres of comics and enjoyed talking to him about the art I was interested in. He was interested in a sexual relationship. I was not. He was extremely respectful when I told him I was not seeking anything sexual. We remained friends on social media for years after. I would go to him with specific comics questions, and he would eloquently teach me so much and add his personal life experiences. My overall impression, that's what you were saying. He was extremely intelligent, empathetic, and driven. Yeah, so it's just some rando from like Tinder who's like
kind of a glowing review. You know, he didn't flip out when I said no sex. You know, I was like,
but what if there is the possibility that it's a fake post, I suppose, but I don't know. Post is from someone named Pocahontas. This is what Don Simpson is saying, which is to be a pseudonym. but I happen to know someone named Bella whose father is a cartoonist in Pittsburgh, so I'm sure it's legit. That's two women who had nice things to say about Ed, which qualifies as multiple, the standard set by the Lethal Comics. Yeah, he refers to Comics Beat as the Lethal Comics gossip site.
Yeah. I can see that now. Yeah.
No, nobody. That's what I mean. Is like you could say like everything you want, like call all this stuff out, and like none of the comics people like.
How small is Pittsburgh, by the way? I mean, they make it out to be, you know, very.
I mean, I
very much not a huge city.
I call it Schittsburg, but that's because like I'm in Ohio, I'm a Cleveland fan, so like we have to be against Pittsburgh. Hey Siri, what's the population of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Let's find out. 300,000 people.
Wow, that is very small.
That is, yeah, I guess that isn't really. I mean, I'm sure like there's cities around it, but it's not going to be. It's not going to push it up like it's not going to be like even if it's like the same amount in the suburbs surrounding Pittsburgh, you're still like not even 1 million people. That's
1.3 million in my city. Well, as of 2017 or some shit, which doesn't count all the people that quote unquote don't count, right?
Right. Let's see. He says, note, I'm still looking for all those retailers who were strong-armed by Ed to buy his comics in bulk. That's just not right. I checked with retailers in Pittsburgh where Ed actually shopped and did signings of his books.
Strong-armed.
Look, you're going to be buying 300 copies of Red Room #5.
Well, tell you what, you're going to be buying my books now.
You're going to be finding, you might be needing a new window here. The window up there looks like it's about ready to fall out, don't you think? Oh, look at it. It looks like there's a little crack. It says that he asked, I checked with retailers in Pittsburgh, and they just laughed in my face. If it didn't happen here, where on earth did it actually happen? This was reported as a fact by that trained ninja staff. Since I'm saying, I think the trained ninja, I think that's him trying to say the N-word.
You got to start using that yourself.
Listen,
put that as your little whatever this little white thing is below your name. You know, trained ninja.
Trained ninja. Listen, you trained ninja. I'll tell you what. You lazy trained ninja. Staff alluded to basically a middle. Okay, so I'm sure it must. Update May 30th, 2024. Received this comment on Facebook from Jim Chirakazi, owner of Ides Entertainment in Pittsburgh, where Ed shopped for coverless Kirby comics to give away to aspiring young artists. In response to the less said, the better's bulk tip line. The tip line. Don Sips. The only hustle I ever received from Ed was the request for support on the YouTube Kayfabe channel, which was warranted, as Ed and Jim were on top of everything comics. Those who have accused need to step forward with evidence, pay off receipts, names of any and all accomplices, or STFU. It stands for shut the fuck up. Photos of Ed.
Yeah, he did that too. Yeah.
At the Carnegie Public Library. Yeah, that looks like he is trying to groom all of them, I think. That is.
Especially that one that's like 65 years old. I mean, yeah, he's really trying to get in that.
Hell yeah.
Obviously a predator, you know. You can see the body language, right? You know, everybody's a fucking expert on body language and all this shit on what someone else is thinking, you know.
Huh. Yeah. And discussing working with Harvey Piskor and the evolution of WYSIWYG. Audience. Oh, this is 2012. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's when I saw him in Cleveland.
Is it Piskor? I always said Pecker.
I think they pronounce it Piskor, but I think you probably could say Pecker. Pecker.
H. Pecker.
H. Pecker. Photos are by Don Simpson taken at a public event 14 years ago. Yeah, that is the thing, is Don Simpson is kind of Magoo and all his like things, but I've heard rumors that the less said the better ninja staff, he's calling himself a trained ninja, is really just some creepy old guy who's never had any power or influence over anybody in comics ever. Is that true? That he used to force fans to wear paper hats in bulk? Please don't insult the public's intelligence, by the way. Using comics section to editorialize on your own impartial news story seems rather tendentious. Tendentious?
Tendentious.
Tendentious.
I think I've seen that word like 2 times ever, if that's even a word. Fuck. We're pulling it up.
Yeah,
We gotta check on Don.
I'm
fucking Mr. Magoo over here.
We're fun. Expressing or intending to promote a particular cause or point of view, especially a controversial one. And tendentious. That's how you pronounce
Tendentious.
Okay.
Problematic as well, right?
Yeah, problematic. Controvertible, vexed, contentious.
Tendentious.
Okay. Good word there, Dandy Don.
That's a 50-cent word right there.
Yeah, I believe he has a doctorate thing because he actually went to some college and paid to get.
Oh, okay. And that was that also feeds into one of the clips you showed me that was him saying, Dr.Ben, or you're not a real doctor.
Are you really? What?
And then he did he leave the stream like?
Yeah.
Just like in a tiff or something. Well, I'm out of here.
Angrily left in a huff. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't, even after this, after him canceling me, I went and I bought his fucking dumb comic that he canceled me from or whatever. Like, I bought this from the comic. I didn't pre-order it. Like, it sat in the comic shop for a year. So at that point, I was just helping the shop, like, get rid of like stock that was, they would have just had to mark down or whatever. But nonetheless, I bought his comic and I'm reading it, and it sucks. But that's what I'm saying. Like, look at like all this. It's like a dozen articles. Oh, this was I think the one that we went on before. Might have went on. Is him like calling out the kayfabe fan group? Is what I thought was kind of funny, because like he calls them out. He goes through this whole thing. I mean, this is a long article all about saying how much he hates the ringside seats fan group. It keeps going. Look at all that. Like, just
that's a doctorate right there.
That is a doctorate in trolling or something. Like after this thing and talking about how he left the group and all the people in there are idiots and this and that, he has still gone on to be published by those same people. Like, he had them publish his comic at Cosmic Lion or whatever. Maybe that. You know what? Maybe that's what I should bring up. Is did I put it on this? I can't remember if I got it onto this site or not. Just for relevance and for reference, this is the local news. 300,000 people in Pittsburgh all watching this lady tear up.
Ed Piskor's father is adamantly defending his son. Now, Piskor is from Munhall, but he is nationally known
for his work as a cartoonist on Marvel Comics. He was scheduled for a show right here downtown until the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust postponed that show after accusations of sexual misconduct.
All I'm going to tell you is a bunch of
4106.
Emotional when I spoke to him at his Munhall home defending his son.
They have. I did see a thing that they said that they've moved like into a new house or whatever too.
Shit, they might have had to. You never know what somebody's out there spray painting on the garage doors or anything.
Yeah.
Your son was a whatever. It's like, well, we got to move.
After accusations that the famous cartoonist, seen here previously at his Munhall studio, sent inappropriate messages to a girl in 2020 when she was 17. The messages she recently shared and claims are from Piskor show him commenting on images of her work, calling her a naughty girl and writing, quote, "I feel like you'd be a good partner in crime. You're not a snitch, are you?" The woman claimed online she was being groomed. Ed Piskor Sr. says no way.
He has never, ever been in trouble, ever in his 40 years of living.
And attorney Phil DeLacente says the messages aren't criminal.
The age of consent in Pennsylvania, notwithstanding corruption of a minor, is 16 years old.
But those messages triggered others to come forward and his show downtown to be postponed. A statement from the Cultural Trust reads, "The Pittsburgh Cultural Trust learned on Sunday of allegations of misconduct made by an individual against artist Ed Piskor, whose work was scheduled to be on exhibition at 707 Penn Gallery starting April 8th, 2024. The Trust takes the allegations very seriously and decided yesterday to postpone the exhibition indefinitely."
This is really one of those situations that in this cancel culture, what happens is you're canceled before the insinuations are determined as fact or fiction.
We attempted to talk to the
Let's
woman
get
who
that guy
posted the
on.
messages, but she was
I know, like his lawyer is not helping him, like being all.
Yeah, it did look kind of.
The age of consent is 16 years old. Let me tell you. First off, that's what.
But there was nothing about, there was nothing like that had to be consent of what was said. It was, and they didn't include the message before that she allegedly admitted to some minor crime or something.
And look at
I did
how completely unself-aware. They don't respond to like his lawyer here saying how cancel culture is you're judged before anything is even proven or anything. Like they're just like playing that yeah. Well, so anyways, these women all came forward. They all said this. Like they're you just know.
Why would they lie? Why would anyone lie?
Why would they lie about this? Why would these women? I mean, why would you make up a story like that? I don't understand. I don't understand. What am I? What did this?
Indefinitely.
There you go.
This is really one of those situations that in this cancel culture, what happens is you're canceled
Eyebrows.
before the insinuations are determined as fact or fiction.
We attempted to talk to the woman who posted the messages, but she was not interested. We tried to talk to Piskor too, but we couldn't reach him. His father, however, spoke out.
I'll tell you this, he's totally innocent.
It's unclear at this point whether Piskor's show scheduled here at the 707 Gallery will be rescheduled. Downtown Pittsburgh, Marcy Cipriani, Pittsburgh's Action News.
Okay, and none of them have ever any retraction, apology. The gallery, fuck art galleries. You know what I'm saying? Like that is my feeling on all of that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't worry about like if someone likes your book or your comic or your song or your movie or whatever it is, because like if you do, then they'll hold that over you, and then they can take away liking it. They can turn it into, well, we heard there's some allegations, sexual misconduct by multiple women, minors potentially, maybe, who knows? Like they start like we were saying, like amping it up, hyping it up, turning it all into,
Well, your point about the horror aspect, of a monster that is off screen, it's like you just see part of it. Yeah, that's like archetypal, right? It's like
these women are coming
alien, right? Just the head. You don't see the I mean, and that part is terrifying enough. The little head shooting out of the mouth, but then there's that lashing tail, those claws that just slice straight through.
Yeah, it's just darkness and just that thing coming out.
My point is just to go right back to what we were saying. It's like
we're just hearing. Like,
well, if there's one, there must be more. You know, if there's one, which you know, I guess you could say the same thing about like a roach or something, or mice, right? If there's one, must be more. And you know, there's that idea like you know, men are pigs, right?
Definitely.
Heather Antos shit, yeah. You gotta do an image of that face she pulled.
Yeah, just that.
It was like a fish type look. I don't know.
Like seeing that's what I'm saying. Like that was like the part to me, like seeing that and then seeing that like no one even like cared or even thought that like any of that was weird. Because like that's what I'm saying. It's like there was the people like after he died that were definitely like sad and depressed about it. And then there was like people that were like jovial, that were like lit. They weren't like, oh, we're happy, but he's dead. They weren't saying like openly saying that. I would assume like they had back rooms they were, but you know what I mean? Like that they were like jovial and happy. Like imagine like if any time there's like an actor that dies or something, like there's like a period where people are like kind of like sensitive about it. You know what I mean? Like think when with Heath Ledger, right? Was that considered like a suicide or just an overdose? Like I'm not sure like how his thing was viewed, but you know what I mean? Like when that happened, it was like for that bit of time afterwards, for at least a week, you know, it was, you know, everyone's kind of okay. Let's chill out for a second, and that's what I'm saying. It was so weird was that it in comics especially, it stayed being who's the next person, you know, and then the next person was that the Jewish lady up in Vancouver, right? Because it was like the next month in May, she was at the Vancouver Comics and Arts Fest. What's her name? Miriam Lebicki. She's the one I covered her comic, a couple of her comics. The Towards a Hot Jew is the first comic I covered by her. That's the title. Towards a Hot Jew. It's an auto bio by this lady. And what's the other one? I can't remember. There's another one that I covered by her, and it's about she served in the IDF, and she's also from Ohio too, but she's got like dual citizenship because she's a Jewish person, I guess.
Yeah.
So she went over and served in the IDF as like
I think they have compulsory service as well. You know, like South Korea and shit.
Yeah,
there's
there
you have to serve.
There was something like she was given an exemption or something, I think. And I'm not trying to like paint a picture of this lady or whatever, but like,
yeah,
and she fought to go and be in there anyways. Like she was doing like clerical work, so it's just papers or computer works or whatever. But that's enough to get her labeled as a. You know, there's people that are definitely like very vibrantly anti-state of Israel, which of course I abhor. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of the definitely a fan of the state, as we all are. I mean, you know.
And let me do a quick camera check here.
And that was those two guys, the Gutter Boys that Ed mentioned in his letter. Very anti-Israel. Very, very anti-Israel. So they were trying to do the same thing to that lady, you know, talking about her we got to fuck this lady over.
Yeah, I might have seen that. And he's like, it's ringing some bells,
but people like jumped up to defend her because they were like, wait, we shouldn't have people like blacklisting the Jewish cartoonists. That might look bad. Maybe if we start having blacklists of the Jewish cartoonists, that might look bad. But it was all the leftists. That's what I'm saying. Like nobody in Comixy was even like aware of like any of that stuff. They're all just like, huh?
but no, Comixy is this alt-right, thing, right? According to Wikipedia and AI sources, Wikipedia on it, and it's like bad guys.
Yeah, they're just bad guys.
And then the bad guys drawing comics,
And how many of them are like super Israel support? I mean, most of them, I would say, are super.
Seems like a lot, yeah.
Of Israel, like they're not. That's like a well-known Republican like platform is that they super supporters of Israel. Like it's so bizarre.
I haven't really seen anyone say they're not. I don't recall ever.
How could you be against Israel unless you were a? Well, anyways, so that's what I'm saying. Like that, all this stuff gets all mixed up in comics, and it's so crazy because it's like all of them literally just how they do that cherry picking where like, well, I'm gonna they're being just hypocrites where you're outraged by this but not by this, and like they demonstrate it over and over with all these things because I mean, like we were saying earlier with Neil Gaiman, everybody
it is called selective outrage,
Yeah.
So for some reason, Neil Gaiman's fine, at least in some regard. He's lost one publication deal that I'm aware of, maybe more, but and the Netflix series
not Sandman. Doing it anymore. Sandman now.
That I couldn't watch the full first episode even. This is weird. I mean, it's like,
yeah, I don't know. Like I like the Sandman. Like some of them are definitely like not good, So, but I looking at like the series, I knew it would just be like it was just gonna be all gay. All of it would be all gay. Everyone is gay, and it's all whatever the Sandman comic was turning into a show was going to be everyone is now gay. Like where it was like maybe a third or a quarter of the people in the comic were gay, it was getting of them. Now everyone is gay, and
let's just flip that and then throw in a bunch of race swaps too, and let's add hermaphrodites as well.
I didn't understand a lot of this stuff when that was happening. So when they first announced, like they showed like the Death Lady is this black lady Kirby or whatever her name is.
Death is a like pale goth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I remember being like, that's
like all the characters have their specific visual archetypes at least.
Yeah, that definitely.
And it's like yes, they can look differently to different people, right? I think that's the story.
Yeah. Right. Death appears as whatever. Like for cats, she appears as like a cat, or for different centaurs or whatever. But yeah, like I as I'm saying, at the time I didn't understand. I was like, well, she doesn't look like Death like at all, but whatever. I mean, I guess.
But if you put Death in the suburb, not suburb, in the urban areas.
yeah, maybe it's like a urban. It's like Death from the Hood. Okay, that's cool. I like it. Death
in the Hood.
But then it's like after, like when I saw like actual like clips of it, I don't have Netflix. I'm, that's my birth signal is that I do not have Netflix, and this Netflix is not allowed in this house, as But once I started seeing clips of her like acting in the scenes and stuff, I was just like, this is just garbage. Like this is not. No, that's not it at all. She's not not nailing the scenes, not nailing the feel of death, like none of it. You know, I was just
there was this great DC, you know, or Vertigo DC. Well, I guess DC bought Vertigo, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
No. Great animation that was about 40 something minutes long. I think that was just titled Death, I think, or DC Presents or whatever, Death. And you know, this guy didn't know he was dead, right? And he was seeing her, right? And it's like nobody else was, but I don't know. It was a great story, and just that was a perfect vision of, you know, female goth death.
Yeah.
And then the series was out, and you know, you look at it and you're like, yeah, no, I don't know, it just don't match up.
I do
shout out.
I'm gonna use your shout out for the goth death to like. I'm thinking maybe it might be time to roll up the stream anyway. So I'll end on. I'll put this over.
On a high energy promo.
Put the link over in the chat. This is the pre-launch sign up sheet for Let Us Get. This is my goth true crime comic. This is going to be based on true stories from my own horrific and disturbing tale of murder in New Orleans, so-called goth satanic murder. Hence the, and that to a little bit of the discussion of Ed Piskor's death is also included in the comic, as well as some other fun, horrifying treats, stories. You know, it's a horror comic. It's a horror anthology. Let Us Get. My goal is to have the Indiegogo actually launched at the end of in the next week or so. Is my goal. It's get it launched and have it. I've got an event coming up on 18th of this month at the local bookstore. So I want to be able to direct people to the actual campaign and like have the little commercial to show them and print out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then, so that's what I got. Oh
yeah, looking forward to it.
I'll put. I think that's. I don't even think that worked. All right. Well, I'll play us a little. I'll just play us this little last little intro thing, or not intro, exit. It's an exit thing, and then
good shit. Rest in peace. Rest in power. Cheers to those who are no longer around.
Oh shit! Oh, there was a spot. All right. Pull up the thing. This thing. Shit. Where did I put that? No. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and you know, let's just end it with a song. Let's just end it with a song. Let's leave it at the.
Love a song.
certified boogeyman. Let's go with him. Walk him down, hope he got some hope in him. Pose on him, bully, death row on. Say, Drake, I hear you like them young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make you hide your little sister from. They tell me Chubbs I need the one to get your hand-me-downs. Ooh, ooh, and party at the party, playing with his nose now. I straight, and Parker got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wop, 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 wop. Die, fuck 'em up. Wop, 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 wop. Do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired trying to strike a chord?
And it's probably A minor.
They not like us, not like us. They not like us,
Never been like us.
they not like us,
Never will be like us.
they not like us.
They not. They not like us. Not like
They not like us,
Never been like us.
they not like us,
Never will be like us.
they not like us.
Yep. Mm-hmm.